Never changed. We're just back home, and it's great to be there. Sirius 161 XM 206. See you there.
Liverpool are your 2025 Premier League champions, and no one covered their journey like Sirius XM FC.
This year, they've been absolutely untouchable.
This team was the epitome of a team.
From every big moment.
Liverpool with a chance. Liverpool and it's the most dramatic end to this game.
To every major storyline.
Incredible, especially to win it in Anfield is so incredible.
No one brings you closer to the English Premier League than Sirius XM FC. Channel 157 in the car and streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app.
This
Slams the ball to right field. Way back. Way gone.
is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second. The throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The series opener against the Cleveland Guardians. After the Blue Jays pulled a rabbit out of a hat to take 2 of 3 from Boston, Cleveland comes to town coming off a big divisional series win of their own. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight from Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside the former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer, Tom Young and Christian Giannini, our technical directors tonight. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Rexdale and Vaughan. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986. So protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Chris Bassitt gets the ball tonight for the Blue Jays on Chris Bassitt Ball Jersey Night. Bassitt has been maybe the best starter of the season so far for the Blue Jays, but coming off a couple of bumpy outings, as is his opponent, Logan Allen, the lefty for Cleveland, that looks to bounce back after a tough start against Boston his last time out. First pitch, lineup, standings, a whole lot more coming up on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong bird food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything?
Let's go Blue Jays! Let's go Blue Jays! Thank you for hanging out with us for the Toronto Blue Jays matchup. Go Jays, go! It's going to be a great game, and we are so thankful that you chose to hang out here on Toronto Sports Insider. Now please, help us grow this amazing community, and the best way to do that is to exit out of the chat, smash that like button down below, and share this link out. You see that arrow? Click that share, send it to your friends. Send it out on social media, wherever. Let's get more baseball fans here in the chat and grow this awesome Blue Jays community. Let's go Jays. We'll see you back in the chat.
To you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
A place in the UEFA Champions League final is on the line, and all the drama is on Sirius XM FC.
Here's the medium ball! That's out of this world!
After a 6-goal classic in Spain, Barcelona and Inter meet in Milan with the tie level and everything to play for.
Serrano is there again. He scored again.
It's a Champions League semi-final. Inter versus Barca. Tuesday at 3 Eastern on Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car and the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Alexa. Did you know you can listen to this game on devices with Amazon Alexa? Download the Sirius XM app. Then tell me to play the Blue Jays on Sirius XM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Swing and a deep drive. Left field. Turning back, Refsnyder. It's out of here! A line drive smash from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And the Blue Jays jump in front fortitude.
Vlad, this is 2 late game comebacks in a row, 2 multi-homer games in a row for this team. How much of a lift have these 2 nights been in the dugout?
I mean, we believe in yourself, and when you believe in yourself and you compete, something happens, and we every day come and compete, and thank God we win the series.
That was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. talking with Sportsnet's Arden Zwelling after the Blue Jays turned in a second straight comeback win yesterday to take the series from the Boston Red Sox. They continue the homestand tonight against the Cleveland Guardians at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Chris, it does really feel like this is a chance for the Blue Jays to get some big momentum. They looked down and out twice in the last series and came up with 2 massive wins.
Yeah, we had Dalton Varsho on the show after the game last night, and I asked him if the monkey was off the offense's back, kind of so to speak, and he replied by saying, hitting is tough, hitting is difficult. And that kind of got me thinking, yeah, you're right. Hitting is really, really hard. Are we being too hard on these guys? I think once you start putting pressure on yourself as a hitter, you start hearing that outside noise. Why aren't these guys hitting home runs? There needs to be more power. Hitting becomes that much more difficult. So for Dalton Varsho, a guy that's been in the league for a long time, to say that, I realize I think we are putting too much pressure on these guys. They will start to relax, take that pressure off, and we've seen over the last couple of games, this is how they're supposed to be hitting, kind of pressure-free, so to speak. 5
home runs for the Blue Jays in the last 2 games, and that helped them pick up 2 wins. Let's see what that did for them as we look at the Bet365 standings. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Coming into today, the Yankees leading the division 18-13, with the Red Sox second in the AL East, 2 games back at 17-16. The Blue Jays in third, 3 games back, 15-16. The Rays 14-17 in fourth, 4 games back. And the Orioles open today in fifth, 12-18, 5.5 back of the division-leading Yankees. For Cleveland, they're second in the American League Central at 18-13, a game and a half back of Detroit. Blue Jays on a City Connect Friday, out in their dark City Connect uniforms. Chris, who's in the lineup for Stephen Vogt's Cleveland Guardians?
Well, leading off in left field is Stephen Kwan. Hitting second at second base is Gabriel Arias. Jose Ramirez is batting third. He'll be at third base. And the cleanup spot is Kyle Manzardo. He's DHing tonight. At first base, batting fifth, is the veteran Carlos Santana. Behind the plate, batting sixth, is Mississauga native Bo Naylor. Batting seventh is Angel Martinez. He's in center field. John Kenzie Noel is in right field. He's batting eighth. And batting ninth is Brian Rocchio. He's at shortstop tonight for the Guardians. And on the mound is lefty Logan Allen. Leading off for the Blue Jays, Bo Bichette is at shortstop. Batting second is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He'll be at first base. Batting third is Anthony Santander. He's in left field. In the cleanup spot is George Springer. He's DHing tonight. Behind the dish is Alejandro Kirk. He's hitting fifth. Hitting sixth is Addison Barger. He's in right field. At third base is Ernie Clement. He's batting seventh. In center field, Miles Straw. He'll bat eighth tonight. And batting ninth at second base is Andres Jimenez. On the mound for the Jays is the righty Chris Bassitt.
Bassitt getting his warm-up pitches in right now. His powder blue glove contrasted by his dark jersey with neon red and blue font for the Blue Jays City Connect uniform. For Bassitt, it's his 7th start of the season, 2-2 with a 2.62 earned run average. 36-year-old stands 6'5", 217 pounds, and he wasn't his best, wasn't terrible in his last start. Against the Yankees, went 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts.
I think I say this a lot. It's almost like every time Bassitt pitches, I say this, but it really all comes down to that sinker. If he can locate that sinker, everything else is just better. We'll see tonight against 7 guys will be in that left-handed batter's box tonight for the Cleveland Guardians.
Starting with Stephen Kwan, left-handed hitter, waiting to get into the box. Guardians in their road grays today, jersey and pants. And now Kwan steps in, taps the plate twice. Looks out to Bassitt, who steps onto the third base side of the hill. Bassitt into the wind, kicks, and offers. First pitch outside, ball 1. Time of the first pitch today is 7:09 Eastern. Roof closed again at Rogers Center. Pretty nice day in Toronto, 17 degrees. right now at the time of first pitch, but the roof remains closed. 1-0. Outside again, 2 balls, no strikes.
Is 17 too cold? Like, if you go
not in my
outside
book.
when it's 17 and you have a T-shirt on, are you too cold?
Me personally, no. Not at all. 2-0 pitch. Called strike, 2-1. Balls and strikes tonight being handled by crew chief C.B. Buckner, Adam Beck at first, Scott Berry at second, and John Bacon at third. Ernie Clement playing in against Stephen Kwan. Rest of the infield straight up. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Big hack from Kwan. 2-2. Fans still filing in, but those in their seats already making some noise for Chris Bassitt. Here's the 2-2. Hit away foul to the left.
That was actually a pretty good cutter. We saw in his last game against the Yankees, he threw a lot of cutters that really didn't move all that much. Kind of just turned into BP fastballs. That one right there had that good cut to it, that good movement to the left.
Another 2-2. Hit away foul again. This one over the netting and close to the concourse up near the top of the 100 level behind the third base dugout.
He's really mixing it up early. That was a split finger there. Not a bad one either. Stephen Kwan's such a good hitter. One of the smartest hitters in the big leagues, so you can't just feed him fastballs.
Kwan, a .311 batter, faces another 2-2 and takes it down and away, ball 3. .311 for Kwan with an .814 on base plus slugging, 5 doubles, 4 homers, 15 RBIs. Payoff pitch. Hit high and deep left center field. Miles Straw sprinting into the gap, makes the catch after a long run for the first out.
That was a scary play out there in left field. Miles Straw was running right at Anthony Santander. At the last second, Santander put on the brakes and let Miles Straw catch that on the run.
And that was closer to Santander, but Straw had the better angle and is the Gold Glove caliber fielder. So he makes the play, 1 down, and Gabriel Arias is up for Cleveland. Right on right, here's the pitch. Hit foul behind the back of Arias and towards the third base dugout, 0-1. Arias, 6'1", 200 pounds, from Venezuela, former Padres prospect. A 1. Slow breaking ball misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What do you got on that Bassitt giveaway? The basketball jersey.
I like it.
Bassitt ball jersey?
Bassitt ball. It's a new sport.
Sorry, I misspoke.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. I'm a fan. What do you think?
I like the design. I just don't think it's going to be long enough for me. I need an extra long.
That's true.
Not an extra large.
John Schneider had a similar size concern when I asked him about it today. He said it's one size doesn't fit him. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Bassitt gets Arias a strikeout for the second out of the first.
Well, that was a little bit of a hanging breaking ball, but it was just slow enough. Arias was way out in front of it. Big second out in this first inning.
This first inning that's brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. The reason birds fly north. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. No score. Base is empty. 2 outs. And the pitch to Jose Ramirez is inside. Ball 1.
That's a good cutter that should have been called a strike by C.B. Buckner.
Well, strap yourself in. Jose Ramirez, the anchor of this Cleveland team, faces a 1-0. And that one called a strike. It's 1-1. Switch hitter bats from the left side, manning his usual third base spot. Ramirez brings the bat above his left shoulder, nearly above his head. Bassitt's 1-1. Hit hard and through the whole right side. A base hit into right field.
Ramirez is such a smart hitter. Obviously, he's got a ton of power, a ton of speed. The only active player right now, 250 homers, 250 stolen bases, but I mean, that's not a bad pitch. It was a split finger down at the bottom of that strike zone. He goes down and just hammers that thing into right field.
Recently, Ramirez became the 24th player ever with 250 homers and 250 stolen bases. He's on first with a big lead, and Kyle Manzardo's up. Bassitt's pitch. Ramirez leaves from first. Pitch is called a strike. Throw down to second. Not in time. Couldn't have put it on a better spot than Kirk did. Went into the glove of Bo Bichette and right onto the hip. The tag went from Bo. But Ramirez, with a good jump and good speed, swipes his 8th of the year.
And he's always been a guy, I know he doesn't do this every time, but he's always been a guy that gets a base hit. He's on first. He's not waiting around. He goes on the first pitch, and look what he did right there.
Blue Jays not taking a look. Ramirez on second. 2 down, no score, top of 1. A 1 pitch to Manzardo. High and outside, 1-1. So there's been 24 guys ever to have 250 career homers and stolen bases. One of them has played for the Toronto Blue Jays. Do you have an idea? Focus on the stolen bases. The 1-1. Swing and a high fly ball, right center field. Backing up Barger, so is Straw. Straw on the track makes the catch to end the inning.
Jose Reyes?
Ricky Henderson was the answer, and Chris Bassitt has an answer after the Jose Ramirez single. Strands him on second, no score. Guardians and Blue Jays, middle of the first. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
A team's defense is as precious as gold.
Oh, what a catch! A great catch by Dalton Varsho.
Brilliant displays of athleticism, pure talent, instinct, and ability.
And it's caught!
An invaluable defensive presence. He is simply
the best outfielder in baseball.
On Wednesday, May 14th, celebrate this golden honor with the Dalton Varsho Gold Glove bobblehead. Available for the first 15,000 fans in attendance. Your golden chance for tickets awaits at BlueJays.com. Lights up, let's go.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch three-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
Breaking news coming at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Jose Berrios, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue on hand as Logan Allen delivers a strike to Bo Bichette to get us underway in the bottom of the first. Guardians 0, Blue Jays 0. The 0-1. Called strike. Along with Chris and myself, Show Ali, our host and producer today. Tom Young and Christian Chinini, our technical directors. The 0-2. Bichette bounces it over the mound to the second baseman Gabriel Arias, who throws over to first to Carlos Santana for the out.
Logan Allen had a tough last start against Boston on April 27th. 4 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, but he was really good in his 2 starts before that. Not sure who we're getting tonight, but the Blue Jays have to be ready for that good version.
26-year-old Allen in his 3rd major league season, 1-2 with a 4.21 ERA. Lefty into the wind is pitched to Vlad Guerrero Jr. is down and in, ball 1. 4-seamer, sweeper, change, cutter, sinker for the southpaw Allen. His pitch. Called strike. His 4-seamer is not going to overpower you. That last one was 91, but he's going to mix speeds and locations a fair amount. 1-1. Fouled away. Got Guerrero way out in front on a sweeper. It's 1-2.
Logan Allen is one of those pitchers where he'll frustrate hitters. He'll get hitters walking back to the dugout thinking, how did this guy just get me out? Because he's not overpowering, but he's a smart guy out there.
Lefty stands diagonal, pointing to the first base dugout. The 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Allen was a second rounder in 2020 by the Guardians out of Florida International University. 2-2. Outside ball 3. He's a two-way player in college. Played first and DH'd in addition to pitching. Hit about 300 in college, but switched over to full-time pitching as a pro. His payoff pitch is hammered deep left field, and that one is down on the track, bouncing against the wall. Kwan options it back into second. Vladdy with the dive in, and he is tagged out. Guerrero hit it hard. Kwan got it quickly off the bounce, delivered a strike, and for Vladdy, that'll be a single, but out, advancing, trying to make it a double.
Well, that was a really nice play out there in left field for Stephen Kwan. And actually, I was expecting on this replay to see Vlad kind of take his time out of the box, but he was running hard the whole way. That ball was hit so hard that he just really didn't have any time to get to second base.
Tag was applied by the second baseman, Gabriel Arias, and now the pitch to Anthony Santander is lifted to center. Breaking back now, coming in, Angel Martinez, the center fielder, makes a two-handed squeeze to end the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, no one left, no score. Guardians and Blue Jays after an inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is Danny Wexelman from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and Xavier Scruggs Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern as we go through all the action from the weekend in baseball. We'll give you all the big plays from all the big games in case you missed it, take you around the bases with all the top stories of the day, and you can watch a simulcast live on MLB Network at 9 a.m. Eastern. All that and more in the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Carlos Santana steps in to start the second inning. Blue Jays and Guardians tied at 0. Chris Bassitt into the wind, and the pitch is up and in, ball 1. Alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. About as much experience as you'll find in a Major League matchup this year between Bassitt and Santana. 36-year-old kicks and offers to the 38-year-old, who swings and misses. Might have caught Alejandro Kirk on the backswing. Santana pats him on the chest. It's 1-1. It's a return to Cleveland for Carlos Santana, who spent so much of his career as a Guardian. The 1-1. Called strike 1-2. 2010 to 2017, he was with Cleveland, Santana, and then again in 2019 and 2020, and now a third stint here in 2025. One-two pitch. A little bit high, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
We were talking about guys that have 250 and 250 homers, 250 stolen bases. Carlos Santana has 326 career homers. Just 60 stolen bases.
Yeah, not going to reach that one. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep right field. Barger back at the warning track, at the wall, leaps. It's gone. Home run for Carlos Santana. A solo shot for his 3rd of the year. And it's 1-0 Guardians.
Well, I was talking about that cutter before the broadcast, saying that he threw a couple of cutters in his last outing against Trent Grisham, against Aaron Judge. They kind of turned into just BP fastballs. That one right there, it cut a little bit, but it was middle. Carlos Santana just barreled it up and got enough of it to get it out of here in right field.
So the Guardians strike first, and now the pitch to Mississauga's Bo Naylor, called a strike, 0-1. Naylor, a 188 hitter, faces the 0-1, takes it down low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
St. Joan of Arc Secondary School. Do you know where that is?
I do.
Just down the street from St. Joe's Secondary School. Do you know who went there?
Chris LaRue. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt, 2 balls, 1 strike. Now the lone Naylor on the Guardians. Had played the last couple seasons with his brother Josh. Josh dealt away to Arizona in the offseason. 2-1 pitch. Rolled over foul, first base side, 2-2. Bo really got himself established in the big leagues last year. 123 games catching for Cleveland. Faces a 2-2. Fouls it back, headed in our direction. It'll, I think, get up into the 500 level, or at least the 400 level boxes right above our heads. Still 2-2. Naylor batting from the left side. Another 2-2. And another foul ball. This one hit on the ground off the front fence to the first base dugout.
Pretty nice job. He's putting together a pretty good at-bat here, fouling off some tough pitches. That last slow curveball was below the strike zone. He just got enough of it to stay alive in this at-bat.
Another 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Elevated cutter for Chris Bassitt, second strikeout of the start.
And that was the cutter they wanted to throw to Carlos Santana, kind of outside and up, that top right corner of the strike zone. That was a perfect pitch right there. That one to Carlos Santana kind of leaked over the middle of the plate, and he was able to barrel it up.
1-0 Cleveland, 1 out top of the second. The pitch to Angel Martinez, just inside ball 1. The second inning presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 1-0, foul tip by Martinez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Switch hitter Angel Martinez bats left, plays center field. A 1-1. Swing and a deep drive foul, 1-2.
Martinez coming into the game hitting .345, 20 for 58, 6 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, no homers though.
Native of the Dominican Republic, debuted last year against the Blue Jays. Looking really good this year. 1-2 pitch. Fouled right back. Started this season, did Martinez, at AAA for the second straight year. Jonathan Rodriguez was optioned, though, on April 9th. They brought him up. And he kind of burst onto the scene with them for his second straight year. Had 5 hits, 3 RBIs in his first 2 games of his big league season. Another 1-2. Downstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. He was the hero yesterday for Cleveland. Angel Martinez with his first career walk-off to beat the Twins in extra innings. The 2-2. Outside, full count.
Chris Bassitt's already thrown 36 pitches in this ball game, just 1 out in the second inning.
He's thrown 18 in this inning alone. Had a battle with Santana before he homered, a longer battle with Naylor before punching him out. Now the 3-2. Lifted foul into the seats, out of play. New baseballs for C.B. Buckner. Home plate umpire tucks them into the pouch off to his right side. Angel Martinez steps back in. Gray pant legs hiked up for Martinez. He brings the bat above his left shoulder. 3-2. Hit in the air, shallow left center field. Straw coming in. Same with Santander. And a leaping catch by Santander to take away a hit. He took flight in left center field, diving forward in front of Straw to make it 2 down.
Well, the scary part about that play is Miles Straw and Anthony Santander were both sprinting in almost at each other, and it looked for a second like Miles Straw was about to attempt a dive as well. He stopped at the last second and let Santander make a heck of a play out there.
Santander settles in now in deep left as John Kenzie Noel steps up and takes outside, ball 1. 1-0 Cleveland, 2 outs, top of the second inning. The 6'2", 240-pound right fielder faces a 1-0. Fouled back. I think that the swing might have hit Alejandro Kirk. It's 1-1. It's a man they call Big Christmas, John Kenzie Noel, 23-year-old mammoth right fielder from the Dominican Republic. The 1-1. Hit foul back into the screen, 1-2.
Do you think that's one of, if not the best nicknames?
It is right up there. It's really good. Noel having a tough start to his season this year, batting in the 180s, 2 homers. And only 2 walks to 18 strikeouts. He waggles his back right elbow almost in a Joe Morgan-ish kind of style before tucking the bat near his hip. 1-2. Misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he definitely has a unique stance up there. A big boy, kind of gets low, and like you said, brings those hands, that elbow, that right elbow, almost near his belt.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Noel out in front on a breaking ball. Chris Bassitt bounces back from the Santana solo shot with 2 strikeouts and 3 straight outs overall to keep it 1-0 Cleveland, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. For our participating location, visit timbermart.ca.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong Bird Food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at ArmstrongBirdFood.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He gets Verdugo for his 7th strikeout.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
1-0 Guardians. Bottom of the second. Logan Allen with a first pitch to George Springer. Called a strike. 0-1. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Second inning of work for the lefty Allen, who has a lead thanks to Carlos Santana. A 1 pitch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Allen steps, kicks, and deals. Misses inside again. 2-1. Logan Allen, not to be confused with the other Logan Allen, who also pitched for Cleveland not that long ago. 2-1. Inside, 3-1. been very up and down, this Logan Allen in his career. Really strong rookie campaign, struggled to a near 6 ERA last year. His 3-1 pitches right in there for strike 2.
Yeah, he had to fight to make the team out of spring training. Had a good camp, and here he is.
3-2. Inside, ball 4. Leadoff walk for George Springer. A nice start to the bottom of the second for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if he tries to take second base, especially with Alejandro Kirk up at the plate. You don't want him to roll over and hit into a double play. Get that guy to second base into scoring position.
Only tough thing, maybe two tough things.
Lefty?
Lefty. Bo Naylor can really throw as well. George Springer, though, taking his lead. And the first pitch to Kirk is lined through the left side of the infield, a base hit. Up to second base goes George Springer, and that bat stays scalding hot for Alejandro Kirk, who hammers the first pitch he sees of this game for a base hit.
Guess what, Ben? We don't have to worry about any of those scenarios. Just hammer a baseball on the very first pitch.
It was 96 miles an hour off the bat for the last week of Alejandro Kirk. That's actually a softer ball that he has hit. He's been smoking everything 100 or more. First and second, no outs. The pitch to Addison Barger is popped up. Foul territory behind the plate, first base side. Carlos Santana over to make the catch, and there's one out. There are just 2 days left to join in on the amazing April 50-50 jackpot, which is almost $1 million, $986,802 right now. It'll continue to skyrocket over the weekend, so don't miss your chance to win one of the biggest jackpots in baseball history. It's BlueJays.com/5050, Ontario or Nova Scotia. Pitch to Ernie Clement. Called strike.
Interesting thing about Logan Allen's splits, and we didn't get to talk about this because Addison Barger popped up on the first pitch. But lefties are hitting .474 against him. Small sample size, just 12 ABs, but...
Oh, one pitch called a strike.
That is a very high average.
It is. What's that, 5 for 12? Left on right, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Clement goes down, and Allen with quite the bounce back after the walk and the single. He got a first pitch out from Barger and then a 3-pitch strikeout from Clement, 2 down.
Ernie Clement is really frustrated after swinging at that pitch. I think he's frustrated because that sweeper from Allen was a ball out of the hands. He knows he shouldn't have swung at it. He really slowly walked back to that Blue Jays dugout.
2 outs, 2 on for Toronto, 1-0 Cleveland, and the pitch to Miles Straw. High and outside, ball 1. It's Springer on second, Kirk on first. Torpedo bat swinging Straw, bats from the right side. 1-0. Called strike. Straw batting .304 on the season, .782 OPS, 3 doubles and a home run. The 1-1. High and outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Infield plays Straw to pull just a little bit, and the outfield just slightly plays the opposite way. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase the changeup outside, 2-2.
That was a really nice changeup. Flipped that in after throwing a couple of breaking balls. Started it on the outside corner, and it kind of just faded away. Doesn't move a ton, but good arm speed.
2-2. Grounded to third base and picked up by Ramirez. He'll go to the bag and retires Springer to end the inning. No runs for the Blue Jays on a hit. They leave 2 on, 1-0 Cleveland after 2 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Mami, tú solo escribes.
Hola, soy Andrés Jiménez y estás escuchando el béisbol de los Toronto Blue Jays en la cadena de Radio Sportnet.
Mami, tú solo escribes.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Rexdale and Vaughan. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center. Visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. First pitch to Brian Rocchio lands in the zone. Strike one to start the top of the third inning, where the Guardians lead 1-0 in Toronto. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 70-mile-per-hour curveball had Rocchio all sorts of crossed up. 0-2.
He's got a really good feel for that slow breaking ball today.
Right on left, the 0-2. Another slow curve, bounced. Rocchio took this one for ball one.
That one was actually better than the one before. Started in the strike zone, broke it out, but Rocchio didn't offer at it.
Rocchio, a defense-first shortstop, batting .200 this year. No homers. 1-2. Fouled away. Switch hitter is 5'9", 165 pounds from Caracas, Venezuela. The 1-2. Hit off the handle, looper into shallow right center field. Barger coming in, makes the catch on the run for the first out.
Another good cutter up and in. That's his bread and butter with that cutter, especially against lefties. He's actually shaking his head right now. I'm not sure why, but that was a good one at the top of the strike zone. Just blew up Rocchio.
If you try to spend long enough trying to understand what Bassitt is doing, what his face is trying to tell you on the mound, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Pretty nice start, though, to this outing for Chris Bassitt. He's gone one time through the order. The Guardians are leading 1-0. Here's the pitch to Stephen Kwan. Called strike.
Was he shaking his head because his shoe was untied? Because as he was tying his shoe, he was shaking his head. So it might not have been pitch related. It was shoe related.
You just don't know with this guy. 36-year-old right-hander nods, winds in the 0-1. High and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know who does have a really good feel for Chris Bassitt, or probably has a pretty good feel?
Alejandro Kirk.
I would say yes, but that's not who I was thinking. Here's the 1-1. Hit hard on the ground and past the third baseman Clement into left field. Kwan turning around first base. He'll stop there. Santander gets it back into second. It's a 1-out single. Who I was going to say is the manager on the other side. Stephen Vogt caught Chris Bassitt in Oakland. Now, Vogt did admit today it was about 10 years ago almost at this point, so it's not like it's the exact same guy. But the guy game planning for the team that Bassitt is pitching against has crouched behind the plate and I'm sure caught hundreds upon hundreds, maybe thousands of his pitches. Bassitt steps off, throws to first. Kwan back in with a dive.
Pretty good guy to have in your dugout, although 10 years is a long time.
It is a long time. It is a long time. It wasn't quite 10 years, I think. It was a little more recently, but pretty close. Pitch to Gabriel Arias, inside to the right-handed hitter. Ball 1.
Stephen Kwan has 4 stolen bases this season, so he might take off over there. Got to keep an eye on him if you're Chris Bassitt.
Guardians have taken a base already today. 1-0 Cleveland, 1 on, 1 out. The pitch. Called strike. Kirk Looks like he was going to throw a back pick to first, but just faked it, lobbed it back to Bassitt. Gabriel Arias hitting for the second time, struck out swinging in the first. The 1-1. Popped up foul over the first base dugout and into about the 15th row of seats right side foul. 1-2.
Stephen Kwan does have a pretty big lead over there. I've been watching him. It looks like he wants to take off. Just hasn't quite gotten an opportunity yet.
Kwan takes 3.5 steps, and the 1-2. High. Arias checked his swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kwan getting some instruction from Sandy Alomar Jr., first base coach for Cleveland. Douglas Odor is the third base coach. Another 3.5 step lead for Kwan. 2-2. Arias fouls it off once more.
You know who doesn't know much about stealing bases? I can assume. Sandy Alomar Jr.
Well, he's got something for Kwan because he's been in his ear every pitch. The 2-2. Swing and a fly ball center field. Backing up for a moment, Straw stops, comes in, and makes the catch. 2 outs.
Well, I guess it's the first baseman's job, or the first base coach's job, to keep an eye on the pitcher and basically yell back if he sees any kind of movement towards first base. I'm not sure what he's telling him, but that's the number one job if you're the first base coach.
Sandy Alomar Jr., by the way, in 20 years, 25 stolen bases. He was caught 24 times.
That's not good.
Just a hair over 50%. 2 down, and the pitch to Jose Ramirez with a runner on first. Just outside, ball 1.
So he might be I guess he's a 250-25 guy.
No, he didn't have 250 home runs. Very good player, but didn't have that many homers. (1-0). Just outside, 2-0. Either Kwan was deking a steal or he took one step and didn't like it. Either way, he went back to the bag after one sprinted step towards second. Not sure he'll think about going now. 2-0 count to the best hitter in the lineup. Bassitt's going to step off before dealing again to Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, if this was a 1-2 count, maybe think about going. If you get thrown out, Jose Ramirez is leading off the next inning. But in a 2-0 count, it's a hitter's count, maybe potentially getting a fastball. You don't want to take the bat out of his hands.
Switch hitter batting left. The 2-0. Swing and a miss. He's been outside with heaters the entire at-bat, but the third time he did it, finally Ramirez chased it. Kirk gets in the crouch, set up on the outer half. Kwan leading off first, 2 outs, top of the third. The 2-1. Swinging bunt spins its way back to the mound. Barehanded by Bassitt. Throw to first. Hits the runner Ramirez, who stumbles down to the ground. It goes up the line. Up to third base is Stephen Kwan. And Jose Ramirez is on his back on the dirt with Sandy Alomar looming over top of him right now, checking on the Guardians' third baseman.
Well, I'm not sure where that throw got him, but Jose Ramirez is not feeling good right now. Kind of on his side right now. I think they're looking at his leg.
I think there's a chance, as that ball caught him, that it was more about the stumble than the impact of the ball. But we're getting a second look now. Bassitt's throw tailed. It hit Ramirez on the upper back, right on the nameplate, but then he tripped over the bag as well. I think that might have been the issue, the bag trip, more than the ball.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing a helmet. His helmet came flying off, so I was watching to see if that ball got him in the head. It didn't, just that upper trap area. But he is still on the ground right now. The Guardians coaches and training staff helped him up. He's on his feet, but that's a scary situation if you're a Guardians fan.
I'm still not sure he's staying in this game. He needed 2 people lifting him up to his feet. Now he's going to walk around and start testing out his ankle. I'm not 100% clear which ankle it is. It was his right one that stepped awkwardly onto the bag. So I lean it's his right ankle. That's the one of concern right now.
He's got a slight limp to his walk, but if you know Jose Ramirez, he kind of walks with a limp anyways. I think he's coming out of this ball game.
He is. It looks like going to exit the game. That's a huge shame for the Guardians, a huge shame for everyone right now, and a lot of the fans who want to see the best that Cleveland has to offer. Hopefully it's something minor. But Daniel Schneemann is going to come out of the dugout, and he's starting to jog up and down the right field line. Jose Ramirez is out of this game.
That was a really difficult play for Chris Bassitt. It was a slow roller, maybe about 15, 20 feet in front of home plate. He picked it up with his bare hand and quickly had to get it to first base. Almost an impossible play with that runner running down the line. Unfortunately, the play happened how it happened, but got to make some pitches here.
They called it an error on Bassitt. First and third now. 2 outs. Kyle Manzardo about to hit for Cleveland. 1-0. The Guardians lead the Blue Jays in the top of the third. Bassitt rocks and offers. Called strike. Manzardo hit a ball to the warning track in right center in the first inning, but the speed of Miles Straw tracked it down. A 1 pitch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You have to be pretty careful with Manzardo. Doesn't have a high average, just 221. He's got a ton of pop, 8 homers already this season.
Mustache wearing, left-handed hitting DH. Works out, waggling his black bat as Chris Bassitt gets set. The 1-1. Popped up, third base side, fouled. Backing up, Ernie Clement onto the side, warning track, deep near left field, makes the catch to end the inning. No runs for the Guardians on a hit and an error. They leave 2 on, and we hope all the best for Jose Ramirez, who exited the game in the middle of the inning. Middle of the third, 1-0 Cleveland. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power.
Start your engine.
And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on Sirius XM.
Battle the start-finish line. Alexander Rossi goes to P1.
Hear every thrilling moment of the 2025 IndyCar season, including the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indy 500.
The green flag flies. They reach the yard of bricks.
The season rolls on Sunday afternoon at 1:30 Eastern with the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218 and the Sirius XM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio, every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
VSiN, the sports betting network, is back on SiriusXM. Go to channel 158 for informed wagering and fantasy advice from familiar voices like Gil Alexander, Paulie Howard, and Mitch Moss. Plus, SiriusXM mainstays Adam Shine, Rich Gannon, and the guru, John Hansen. We're getting you ready for the upcoming games with a finger on the pulse of the latest news and the moving lines and odds. VSiN, the sports betting network, is now on SiriusXM 158 and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the third inning starts with a pitch outside to Andres Jimenez, and we're underway. 1-0 Cleveland over Toronto. Logan Allen's pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1. If you weren't with us just a couple minutes ago, Jose Ramirez stepped awkwardly on first base and has been removed from the game. The 1-1. Called strike 1 and 2. Daniel Schneemann was brought in the top of the third inning, and now some shuffling around for Stephen Vogt. Schneemann is now the second baseman. Gabriel Arias moves from second to third to cover for Jose Ramirez. 1-2. Down and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a big subtraction from this Cleveland lineup for sure.
2-2. Bounce softly toward third base. Charging in Arias. Glove. Zips a throw over to first. Nice play for the out. Well, it's certainly a big loss, especially on the offensive side. Defensively, the Guardians are about as good as anyone, and Gabriel Arias is a big part of that. He can cover for Ramirez at third base, no problem.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice play on a slow roller. Andres Gimenez has a ton of speed, so you have to transfer that ball quickly to make a perfect throw.
First pitch to Bo Bichette in the dirt. Ball 1. 1-0. Guardians over Blue Jays. Base is empty. 1 out. Home half of the third. The 1-0. Called strike. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Get Air Miles reward miles on your next home improvement buys at Timbermart. The 1-1. Hit on the ground foul. 1-2. Plus, take advantage of buy now, pay later financing options with your Timbermart project card. Start your project today. For details, visit Timbermart, Canada's Building Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young and Christian Chiniti, our technical directors. 1 out, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Bichette chases the sweeper in the dirt, and there are 2 down.
There has to be something to that sweeper, whether it's deception or whether it's bite, because Blue Jays hitters are offering at that thing out of the strike zone. That one right there kind of started below the strike zone. Bo Bichette swings over the top of it, but it's a pretty good pitch.
2 strikeouts for Allen, both on the sweeper today. And now his pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr., called a strike 0-1. If you're going to attack one of his pitches, typically guys have done best on the changeup this year. 0-1, down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Coming into this game, he was allowing a batting average over 500 on the change and a slugging percentage near 800. 1-1. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Vladdy's got one of the 2 Blue Jay hits so far. 2-1. Lined right side, past the dive of Schneemann, down in right center field, a base hit. 2 for 2 start to the day for Vlad Guerrero Jr., who grabs Carlos Santana as he rounds first.
Yeah, those 2 always have fun over there. Obviously a difference in age. Carlos Santana, 38. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I think 25.
26.
26 now, sorry. But those guys are always having fun. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with a nice swing. I think that fastball got in on him, but he was able to muscle that thing out to right field.
Vladdy on first. The pitch to Anthony Santander. Called strike, 0-1. Well, Carlos Santana in that almost perfect intersection where the beginning of his career is right at the end of Vlad Guerrero Sr.'s career, and then the end of Santana's career, we think, is when Vlad Guerrero Jr. is playing. 0-1 is outside, 1-1. I say we think because who knows? I didn't think Carlos Santana would be playing right now 5 years ago. Maybe he is still playing in 5 years.
I would say I started to say this is Carlos Santana's last season maybe 4 years ago.
Right. The 1-1. Down and away, 2-1. And instead, last year, Santana decided to win the first Gold Glove in his career in season 15, I believe. Santana holding on Guerrero. 2 outs, Santander batting right. Allen's pitch. Just off the plate outside. Pretty good take there from Anthony Santander, 3-1.
Did you know I played with Carlos Santana? I want you to guess where.
Winter League?
Yeah. Escogido.
How old was he then? In a range.
It was a long time ago. It was maybe 10 years ago, so it was probably 2015-ish.
Step and throw over to first. Guerrero back in. Santana's going to tag him anyway. Vladdy goes to slap the glove. Still 3-1.
Full-time big leaguers don't necessarily play in Winter League. They just come to the games and have a good time, drink some beers with their friends. But Carlos Santana actually played. He's one of the few everyday big leaguers that played in that Winter League.
3-1. Called strike.
And I actually asked him, why are you playing? You're an everyday big leaguer. Go home and relax, sit by the pool, whatever you need to do. And he said, a lot of people in my hometown, which I think is Santo Domingo, don't get to see me play. So I want to play for them. I want to play in front of them. And, I mean, he's a great guy.
3-2, Vladdy takes off, and Santander pops it up foul. First base side out of play. Still a full count. Santana is from Santo Domingo. That is pretty cool. You know, those people don't get to see him play in person really ever.
Robinson Cano did that at the tail end of his career. I don't think he was just trying to hang on. I think it was the same sort of reason where he wanted his family, his friends to see him play in person, which a lot of those people from Dominican Republic don't ever get to do.
3-2. Bounce to the plate, ball 4. It's a walk to Santander, and the Blue Jays have 2 aboard with 2 outs. 14th walk of the season for Anthony Santander. 3rd on the team behind the leader, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and the guy coming up now, George Springer, the DH. Springer walked his first time up, batting in a second consecutive inning now. It's the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 for the Guardians, and with 2 on the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Daniel Schneemann, the second baseman, plays up the middle, the 1-0. Downstairs, ball 2.
That's a good take there. And if you're George Springer now, you're ahead in the count. It's a fastball count. I don't know if he's getting a fastball, but you have to sit dead red. You have to sit for your location.
2-0. Breaking ball, misses low again, 3-0.
Did not get a fastball. He might not even get a fastball here in a 3-0 count.
First and second for the Blue Jays. Santander on first, Guerrero on second. 1-0 Guardians, bottom 3. With 2 outs, the 3-0. There's a fastball, called a strike. Looked like Springer was taken all the way, 3-1. A 2-out single and a walk for the Blue Jays has kept this inning going. Allen's pitch. Called a strike again. George Springer very upset with C.B. Buckner on that one. It's full count.
He was visibly upset. Didn't just say something to C.B. Buckner. He actually moved his arm and kind of made a really frustrated motion with that left arm.
I think he's right. I don't think that was an awful call. Runners will be off on this 3-2. Here's the pitch, and it's lifted to shallow center field. Schneemann backing up, and he makes the catch. Or no, he doesn't. Grounds crew was on the field. Everyone on the Guardians thought it was over. There was catcher's interference on that play. George Springer, I couldn't tell what he was doing. He was making signals back to Buckner. I thought this was still over. The last call, whether it was a ball or a strike, that's going to be catcher's interference, and this inning is going to continue with the bases loaded.
I thought he was apologizing to Bo Naylor because he hit him on the backswing. But, he was pointing at Bo Naylor. I thought he was apologizing to Bo Naylor, saying that was catcher's interference. He just continued running to first base. Good call from C.B. Buckner back there.
So catcher's interference, an error on the catcher Naylor. No at-bat for George Springer. Not quite the band is on the field, but the Blue Jays had the grounds crew on the field, and they've cleared everyone off. Carl Willis went out there to talk to Logan Allen. I mean, that's got to be a letdown for a young pitcher. You think you're out of an inning, now the bases are loaded.
Yeah. Well, with catcher's interference comes, he probably could have squared that ball up if he didn't hit the glove, too, right? Because that was a curveball or a sweeper right down the middle. George Springer normally hammers those baseballs, and it was kind of a weak pop-up to second base, but...
Here's Alejandro Kirk. Bases loaded, 1-0 Guardians. 2 outs, bottom of the 3rd. The pitch. Inside, ball 1.
What game was that? The band on the field? It was a football game, right?
Yeah, it's a college football game.
When the band guy just gets hammered.
Yeah, it's like a tuba guy gets run over. Next pitch to Kirk. Line to left field, base hit. In to score, Guerrero. Santander coming to the plate. The throw home bounces away. Santander slides in. Kirk up to second. A 2-run single. And the Blue Jays take a 2-1 lead.
Stay hot, kid. Alejandro Kirk with another good swing. Hammers that cutter from Logan Allen into left field. What a big 2-out hit. for Alejandro Kirk.
It's a cutter down and in that Kirk got the hands inside and ripped it over the shortstop Rocchio for a base hit. Springer went first to third, and when the ball skipped away from the plate, Alejandro Kirk went up to second. Second and third, 2 down. The pitch to Addison Barger, called a strike, 0-1.
Stephen Kwan actually had a shot at Anthony Santander at home plate, but the throw kind of tailed on him the last second up the first baseline.
0-1. Fouled away, 0-2. Kwan will actually get charged with an error on that throw because Kirk would not have advanced to second base had he not bounced away. So for the Guardians, 2 errors in this inning between the Kwan bounce throw and the catcher's interference. 2-1 Blue Jays, and the 0-2 swing and a miss. Strike 3. Barger goes down swinging, but the Blue Jays jump in front thanks to a 2-run single from Alejandro Kirk. 2 runs on 2 hits for Toronto, 2 errors for Cleveland, and 2 left on base. 2-1 Blue Jays as we go to the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Don't miss a moment of baseball season with MLB Network Radio, including daily interviews with the decision makers from across the league on SiriusXM Channel 89.
This is Terry Francona.
This is Rocco Baldelli.
This is Torey Lovullo.
This is Ron Washington.
It's Managers at the Mic on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89. And if you miss any of our Manager at the Mic interviews throughout the week, you can find them on the SiriusXM app. Search MLB.
Baseball is back. It's former General Manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former Big League GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fourth inning in downtown Toronto. Appreciate you tuning in today alongside Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Blue Jays leading the Guardians 2-1. Alejandro Kirk with a 2-run single when we were last talking to you. And now Chris Bassitt gets to pitch with a lead for the first time today. Bassitt will face 5, 6, 7 in the Cleveland order. Starting with the switch-hitting first baseman Carlos Santana. The pitch. Hit on the ground sharply to second. High hop brought in by Andres Jimenez, who throws on to first. 1 pitch, 1 out for Bassitt.
Well, that was much needed for Chris Bassitt. 65 pitches on the night. Gets a little first pitch, first out action there, but that's a good sinker. Probably his best sinker of the night. Down and away to a tough hitter.
Santana was the guy who got him last time. He hit the home run for the Guardians, 1 run. So clearing that hurdle, now he takes on Bo Naylor. Swing and a high fly ball. Center field. Strauss sprinting straight back at the wall. Leaps. It's gone. Home run for Bo Naylor. The Mississauga native goes deep here in Toronto. And it's a 2-2 game.
And there are a lot of people, I'm assuming friends and family, standing right now cheering, wearing Guardians gear. I mean, I want to imagine 30 people, 25 people maybe. That must be a great feeling for them.
You come to see Bowen in the first game in his second at-bat. He rewards the friends and family. Second home run hit by the Guardians today, and it's 2-2. Pitched to Angel Martinez with 1 out. Hit back foul, 0-1.
It's an expensive weekend series for Bo Naylor.
It is.
If he's handing out tickets, got to pay the taxes on those.
Last year, maybe Josh covers it, 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike on Angel Martinez. Josh was in arbitration. Bo's just getting up. He's been in the big leagues for a little bit.
Bo's a first rounder. He's got some coin, too.
That's true. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Well, either way, there's no one else to cover it now. Those seats are Bo's to cover. But I'm sure it's all worth it when everyone gets to see a moment like that. Alejandro Kirk just adjusting a little bit of his equipment. Gets back into the crouch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out. Bases empty, top of the 4th. The pitch. Martinez fouls it back. Almost a homecoming of sorts for Angel Martinez, who is from the Dominican Republic, but he's the son of Sandy Martinez, who caught for the Blue Jays in the mid to late 90s. Next pitch, well outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2. Called. Strike 3. Fastball, bottom middle of the zone. Punches out Martinez. 2 down.
And that pitch right there is the important sinker, the one that starts in and kind of sinks over the inside third of the plate. What a pitch right there.
So 2 down in this 4th inning, which is presented by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. First pitch to John Kenzie Noel, fouled back, 0-1.
If nothing else, John Kenzie Noel is very intimidating in the box.
Incredible. The 0-1. Broken bat chopper to third. Charging in, Clement fields it, throws on to first, gets Noel, and ends the inning. Canadian Bo Naylor going deep off Chris Bassitt. The solo shot provides the 1 run in the inning to tie it at 2, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Breaking news. Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He keeps this game tied
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
2-2 game, bottom of the 4th, and the first pitch from Logan Allen to Ernie Clement is chopped foul, 0-1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Joe Ali, our host and producer. Here's the 0-1, outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Our technical directors are Tom Young and Christian Chiniti. The 1-1. Hit in the air down the right field line, sinking toward the line. That's going to get down foul. John Kenzie Noel was tentative jogging over there. Didn't get there in time, but it found the sliver of foul territory deep down that line.
Well, that would have been a hard catch anyways with that short wall over there. A lot of outfielders are timid. They don't want to run into it. And, I mean, that was about 5 inches from that foul line down the line. That would have been a big base hit for Ernie Clement.
7-8-9 for the Blue Jays in this inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. High and outside, 2-2. This bottom third of the Blue Jay order today, all with pretty significant Cleveland connections. Clement, Straw, Jimenez. Clement swings at the 2-2, lofts it out to right field. This one playable for Noel, who brings it in. 1 out. So Ernie Clement, who played over 100 games with Cleveland in 21 and 22, a fourth rounder in 2017 by the Guardians, is set down for the first out. One down, and Miles Straw up to the plate. He played 366 games with Cleveland from 21 to 24. First pitch called a strike, 0-1.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian-owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are just half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome.
Next pitch to Straw, hit foul, 0-2. You out of breath over there? Let's take a look at the AL East scores. No score between the Yankees and Rays. Bottom of the fifth, or top of the fifth, actually, at Yankee Stadium. 0-2 to Straw. High and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Sometimes Tom Young tells me to slow down, but I couldn't slow down on that one.
2-2 game here in Toronto. 1 out, bottom 4. The pitch to Straw is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Other AL East scores, Baltimore and Kansas City. They're scoreless in the 6th inning in Baltimore, and a tie game in Boston. Red Sox and Twins 1-1. 2-2 pitch is looped to right center field by Straw. Racing into it is the center fielder, Angel Martinez, who makes the catch for the second out. The only other out-of-town score on Sportsnet right now, Game 6 of the first round series between the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. No score early on in that one. The Jets lead that series 3-2. 2-2 in Toronto. The pitch to Andres Jimenez is high, ball 1. Mentioned the Cleveland connections. None of the guys in this lineup as connected to Cleveland as Andres Jimenez, who played over 519 games there. 1-0. Foul tip, 1-1.
Well, he was there last year.
He was. As was Miles Straw, technically.
That's true, I guess.
But Andres Jimenez, a big part of that Francisco Lindor trade. 1-1. Hit high, right field, coming in and toward the line, Noel. That one is going to get out of play, foul. 1-2. Jimenez, an all-star in his time with Cleveland, played 4 seasons, was an all-star once, a Gold Glover 3 different times. Made the playoffs, including that run to the ALCS last year with the Guardians. The 1-2. Poked away, foul to the left. Stephen Kwan talking about Jimenez today. He was talking about some of his new second basemen and guys around the infield, but he said you can never replace Andres Jimenez and called him the best defender on the planet. The 1-2. Hit hard off the mound, and a diving stop up the middle. Rocchio spins, throws over to first, and it skips away. Andres Jimenez is safe. What a play, though, by Brian Rocchio. Lined off the top of the mound. That one skipped to shallow center. Rocchio cut it off with a dive and nearly had enough on the throw to get Jimenez.
Well, Andres Jimenez might not be swinging the bat like he'd like to right now. Before that at-bat, he was hitting just 164. But like Stephen Kwan said, one of the best defenders he's ever seen, one of the best defenders I've ever seen, and he can also run.
Pitch to Bo Bichette. Called strike, 0-1.
Most guys don't beat that out. If that is a clean throw, Andres Jimenez would have beaten that out.
Does go as a base hit for Jimenez. 5th Blue Jay hit today. 2-2 game, 2 outs in the 0-1 to Bichette. Swing and a miss. Late on the fastball, 0-2. Bo 0 for 2 today. A ground out to second and a strikeout swinging on the sweeper. Allen kicks and offers, and Bichette takes outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Acres of space on the right side of the infield. Leading off first is Andres Jimenez. The 1-2. Swinging a fly ball center field. Martinez jogging in, stops, and makes a 2-handed grab to end the inning. No runs for the Blue Jays on a hit. 1 left, and as we go to the 5th, 2-2, Guardians and Blue Jays. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I'ma need some whiskey glasses. Why you gotta be so hard?
Morgan Wallen's musical universe just got bigger.
I can't wait for people to hear the new concepts and new things that we were able to say on here.
Dive into the brand new album, I'm the Problem, plus hand-picked music from friends and influences.
Morgan Wallen Radio, my very own channel.
Now for a limited time on Channel 57 and at home with the SiriusXM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Top of the fifth in downtown Toronto. 2-2, Blue Jays and Guardians. And the first pitch to Brian Rocchio is high, ball one. Rocchio showed bunt and pulled it back. The corner staying in a little bit. Vladdy at first and Clemente at third. Chris Bassitt back on the hill. 2 solo home runs have been his mistakes today. 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. Other than that, Bassitt's only allowed 2 more hits. And there's singles to Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan, so you can't really blame him there. 1-1. Breaking ball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bassitt goes to his right hip, communicating with Alejandro Kirk through PitchCom. He kicks and delivers. That ball hit in the air, left field, right at Santander. Jogs to his right, makes a one-handed catch. 1 out.
That was a great sinker. Just blew up Rocchio. Hit a weak fly ball to left field.
Good start to this 5th inning, which is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Top of the order for Cleveland. 3rd time Steven Kwan bats. 1 out, base is empty. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. A little bit hunched over. The left-handed hitter Kwan awaits a 1-0. Called strike. Top of the zone on the inside edge. Kwan tilted his head to the side. He didn't totally agree with it, but didn't make a big fuss. It's 1-1.
I didn't love it either.
But not a terrible call. It's pretty close. 1-1. Called strike. 1-2.
You know what I miss? I miss being all over C.D. Buckner. We haven't really been all over
fine
him
tonight.
Yeah,
he really has been. The 1-2. Lined right center field. Racing over Straw into the gap. Makes the catch. 2 outs.
And that shows just how good Steven Kwan is. That was a pretty good sinker that had a ton of horizontal movement. He kind of just followed it with his eyes and hammered that baseball to center field. Luckily, Miles Straw caught it, but Steven Kwan's such a smart hitter, knows exactly what he's doing up there.
Kwan, a national champion in college, and very impressive start to his big league career. 2 outs now, base is empty. Gabriel Arias is up. The pitch. Called strike. Brief check on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Mentioned some scores in the AL East, but other games going on. Athletics leading the Marlins 3-0 in the 5th in Miami. A 1. Swing and a miss, and the bat thrown up into the netting, and it's caught in the screen behind home plate. Arias lost control of it, and the handle has lodged itself in the netting. He's going to get a new bat, and I guess we're going to let that hang there for a second.
I think that happened last year with Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Did.
There was a bat
in
hanging
Milwaukee
above the dugout.
Chris Bassitt created a large hook.
They need to get a tall ladder is what they need to do.
There's one somewhere around here. There has to be.
I didn't see one last year.
Well, that was in Milwaukee.
Ah, that's true. They don't have ladders.
I can't speak for American Family Field. Right now they're going with the pull on the bottom of the net method, and whoever was doing that, CB Buckner was like, hey, get off the field.
Get off the field.
Let's wait one or two more pitches. There's 2 outs in the top of the 5th. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. The 0-2 bounce to the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just gave you one more from out of town. Good matchup. LA Dodgers, Atlanta Braves in Atlanta. It's 1-0 right now for the Dodgers. Will Smith drove in the lone run. 2-2 game, top of the 5th. The 1-2 pitch from Bassitt blows up the bat of Arias, rolling slowly over the mound. Jimenez fields, throws on to first, and gets the out. An adventure for 2 different Gabriel Arias bats, but it ends up in and out, and Chris Bassitt with a 1-2-3, top of the 5th. We go to the bottom half of the inning, 2-2, Cleveland and Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Worth 400 from Texas Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90. The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Worth 400 from Texas Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
PGA Championship moments on SiriusXM.
At the 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla, Xander Schauffele's opening round 62 tied a major championship record, and he never looked back.
Xander Schauffele, the winner of the 106th PGA Championship.
Colin Morikawa and Bryson DeChambeau made furious charges, but Xander secured his first major win 2 months before claiming his second. PGA Championship Week begins May 12th on Channel 92 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 5th, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off. Takes a first pitch strike from Logan Allen. 0-1. Blue Jays baseball presented by Crown Rust Protection. 2-2 against Cleveland. The 0-1. Downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hate to break it to you, Ben, but it looks like there are no ladders at Rogers Center.
Well, they haven't got the bat down. There simply must be ladders. The 1-1 pitch. Outside 2-1. If you weren't with us in the top half of the inning, Gabriel Arias threw a bat by accident on his swing, and it's stuck in the netting still behind home. 2-1 is lined by Guerrero out to right, but it's going to be caught underhanded by Noel. Hit it too close to the right fielder for the first time today. Guerrero does not pick up a hit. He's now 2 for 3.
I think Noel actually misplayed that ball, thought it was going to go further than it did, and then kind of ran in at the last second and made a catch right around his knee.
1 out, nobody aboard. 2-2 game. And Anthony Santander hitting for the 3rd time. 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. The pitch. Called strike. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Opener of this series between the Blue Jays and Guardians. Next pitch in the dirt with a changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Allen steps, kicks, steals. Santander with a big swing, fouls it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 83 pitches for Logan Allen, the lefty. No movement in the Cleveland bullpen in right field. Southpaw's 1-2. Fouled back, just tips off the top of the screen and goes into the seats.
Somebody made a nice catch. We lost it right below us, but pretty nice applause for whoever made that catch.
Next pitch is hit high, deep left field. Going back Quan, but he makes the catch on the warning track for the second out.
Pretty nice swing from Kirk. Anthony Santander, just a hanging sweeper. Drilled that thing into left field. Stephen Quan with a nice over-the-shoulder catch.
So 2 outs for Logan Allen. Designated hitter George Springer batting with nobody aboard. 2-2 ball game. Left on right pitch. Outside by a mile, ball 1. Springer doesn't have an at-bat yet today. Walked his first time. Catcher's interference his second. Takes the 1-0, down and away. 2 balls, no strikes.
And without that catcher's interference, it'd be a 2-0 Cleveland ball game.
2-0 pitch. Called strike. So catcher's interference happened with 2 outs and 2 runners aboard. Loaded the bases for Alejandro Kirk, and he hit a 2-run single that at the time gave the Blue Jays the lead. 2-1. Swing and a fly ball. Center field. Running back Martinez at the warning track. Out of here! Big fly, George Springer, and the Blue Jays jump back into the lead. 3-2 Toronto.
And how about that? What a swing from George Springer. It was a sweeper over the middle of the plate. He hit that thing just over the wall in center field, 105 miles an hour off the bat. Put that home run jacket on.
3rd home run for Springer, 13th RBI of the season.
That thing just got out of here.
It did, but he picked the deepest part of the yard.
There you go.
Pitch to Alejandro Kirk, called a strike, 0-1.
He is really excited in that dugout.
All of a sudden, the home run parade has started for the Blue Jays. 1 today, 2 yesterday, 3 the day before that. The 0-1. Up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Dalton Varsho said to us, hitting is hard. Doesn't seem to be hard for the Jays the last 2.5 ball games.
1-1. Popped up, back of second base into shallow right center. Noel is jogging in. He'll make the catch, retire Kirk, and the side. The Blue Jays, though, with a solo home run off the bat of George Springer, take a 3-2 lead. We go to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Of all the things that Timber Mart can lend a hand to build, community ranks among the most important. And with the Timber Mart Local Leaders Initiative, we strive to recognize those dedicated to making their hometowns a better place to live, work, and play. From now to June 25th, you can vote to select our grand prize winner. They'll receive a $10,000 grant to support their outstanding initiative as Timber Mart's Local Leader of the Year. To vote, visit local-leaders.com. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong Bird Food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at ArmstrongBirdFood.com.
CGT this Tuesday.
It's going to be a battle.
The top 14 acts put it all on the line.
It's not about being good. It has got to be great.
With $1 million grand prize from Rogers, the stakes have never been higher. The road to the finale won't be easy.
Go big or go home.
Canada's Got Talent, The Eliminations, Tuesday 8/7 Central on City TV, or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Way back, and Jimenez has done it again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Appreciate you tuning in tonight, and welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, and Christian Chiniti, our technical directors. At beautiful Rogers Center in downtown Toronto, the Blue Jays leading 3-2 over the Cleveland Guardians. Pitch to Daniel Schneemann, fouled back, 0-1. First time that Daniel Schneemann bats for the Guardians today. He came in the 3rd inning for the injured Jose Ramirez. 0-1. Outside. Ramirez was hit on the back by a throw from Chris Bassitt to first base and then stepped awkwardly on the bag at first. He's got a mild right ankle sprain, according to Cleveland. The 1-1. Schneemann takes outside. Left-handed hitter makes the count. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I think that's a win for the Cleveland Guardians. It looked worse than that. And that's just my opinion, of course.
I mean, initially it looked really bad. He was just lying there, not moving. 2-1. Lined right center field. Barger on the run, and it's down for a base hit. High hop. Schneemann going to second. Throw from Barger skips in just late. And that's a leadoff double for Daniel Schneemann.
Addison Barger would have had an easier play at Schneemann at second base if that ball hadn't have bounced so high. He cut it off in the gap and kind of had to jump for it. Made a good throw into second base, but Schneemann getting in there feet first.
For Schneemann, his 5th double of the season. Now Alejandro Kirk is going to go out and talk to his righty Chris Bassitt. Blue Jays have a pitcher warming up right now in Chad Green. Right-hander pitched 2 days ago for the Blue Jays in their win over Boston. Still a talk right now between Kirk and Bassitt, though. We'll take a quick look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Mentioned that Dodgers-Braves game earlier. It's 2-0 right now for the Dodgers, and it's a little early to worry about this. It's only the 6th, but Yoshinobu Yamamoto has thrown 5 no-hit innings so far.
It doesn't count.
It does not count.
It does not count yet.
Not yet. Kyle Manzardo to the plate. 3-2 Blue Jays. The pitch to Manzardo is lifted to left center. Santander going back, so is Straw. Straw on the edge of the track makes the catch. Schneemann tagging from second. He'll try to advance, and Straw's throw gets in there late. Nice base running from Daniel Schneemann. He goes up to third base with 1 out.
Yeah, Miles Straw really had no chance. That was a deep fly ball into the gap in left center. Schneemann with a good tag, turns around, locates that baseball, gets into third base pretty easily.
Infield is in now for the Blue Jays. Carlos Santana up to the plate. 3-2 Blue Jays, 1 out, top of the 6th. Santana with a homer and a ground out today. Bassitt's pitch. Outside, ball 1. The 1-0. Inside 2-0. You look at the last handful of times Carlos Santana has been in this building. He's victimized the Blue Jays. Last year as a Minnesota Twin, he homered in all 3 games of the May series against Toronto, driving in 7 runs overall in that series. 2-0 pitch. Called strike, 2-1.
I actually think that was the series that he decided to play another season.
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm just kidding.
He also came here in 2022 during the wild card round and hit very well for Seattle as they eliminated the Blue Jays. 2-1 pitches hit foul, 2-2. That included a 3-run homer by Santana in a then 8-2 game, and well, you know the rest. The Mariners came all the way back to beat the Blue Jays and take that series 2-0. 38-year-old Santana facing a 2-2 pitch from Chris Bassitt. There's a runner on third, 1 out, and the Blue Jays up 3-2, top of the 6th. Bassitt steps off, just shows the ball to Schneemann, but doesn't come close to throwing it over to third.
It's a big pitch in this ball game. Ideally, you want to strike him out here, but a pop-up would be nice too.
Infield in. Bassitt's 2-2. Bounce to the plate. Run-saving block by Kirk as he took it off the glove and then maybe the stomach.
And that's something that gets overlooked, I think. Having a good catcher back there, having a guy that can block the baseball allows a pitcher out there to have confidence in throwing that breaking ball in the dirt, just like Chris Bassitt right there to Alejandro Kirk.
Bassitt kicks and delivers. Pitch popped up, third base side foul, but it has the legs to get over the netting. Bounces off the top of the third base dugout and is caught on the ricochet by a fan out of play. Still 3-2. Bassitt coming up against it now. 97 pitches for the right-hander. He's in the 6th inning with 1 out, and the Blue Jays are in the lead 3-2, but the tying run on third base, Daniel Schneemann. Speedy utility player. He'll score on a medium depth fly ball. 3-2 pitch to Carlos Santana is lined through the right side, a base hit into right field. Schneemann jogs home. Santana jogs to first with an RBI single, his second RBI today. It's a 3-3 game in the 6th.
He's done it again. The Blue Jay killer waits back on that split finger. It was actually a pretty good pitch off the plate. He gets the barrel to it, and he hammered it through the hole on the right side.
Something about this building. Carlos Santana really likes it. He has ended the start of Chris Bassitt with that base hit. John Schneider takes the baseball, makes the point. This pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. As Chad Green comes in, let's go over to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's check in on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. And as we often have in the last few weeks, we will start with hockey and the Stanley Cup playoffs. After a lot of games last night, we only have one game on tonight, Game 6 between St. Louis and Winnipeg this evening. If Jeff Blair's Jets pull off the win, they will move on to the second round. If the Blues win tonight, we will get a Game 7. Right now, it is 1-0 Blues with 3:35 to go in the first period. Philip Broberg opening the scoring for St. Louis. You can watch that game on Sportsnet and the CBC. We do already have one more Game 7 set for this weekend. Saturday evening will bring us Game 7 between the Avs and Stars in Dallas. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific tomorrow. Other matchups are set in the second round, meanwhile. The Leafs will take on the Panthers, the Capitals will play the Hurricanes, and the Oilers will play the Golden Knights. The other Western Conference semifinal will see the winners of Jets, Blues, and Avs Stars play each other in the second round. And for teams that did not make the playoffs, there are now 7 teams without head coaches. That is down from 8 as earlier today. The New York Rangers made it official with Mike Sullivan. He is the 38th head coach in the history of the franchise. And we also have some in basketball Canadian content for you. The Canadian men's national basketball team has officially chosen a new head coach. They put out a release saying Gord Herbert is the team's new bench boss, a native of Penticton, BC, head coach of the EuroLeague's Bayern Munich, and has previously led Germany to a gold medal at the 2023 FIBA World Cup. He will head up the men's program through the 2028 Summer Olympics. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Chad Green on the mound. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show, for Chad Green, his 15th appearance of the season. 4.15 ERA for the righty, who features a 4-seam fastball and a slider. 3-3 game, runner on first, 1 out. And Green deals to Bo Naylor. No, he's going to step off, rather, and check on first, where Carlos Santana, not a stolen base threat, gets back to the bag. Although he does have 2 this year. So maybe I should take that back. Naylor with a home run today, 1 for 2. The pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Pretty deep right field. Barger into the corner, and he'll make the catch on the side warning track right where it meets the end warning track for the second out.
Bo Naylor was really close to getting his second home run of the ball game. Just got underneath that 4-seam fastball from Chad Green.
He hit that so high.
That was a big league fly ball, my friend.
2 down now, top of the 6th. 1 pitch on 1 out for Chad Green, who's trying to bounce back after allowing runs in each of his last 2 outings. He deals to Angel Martinez. Swing and a fly ball, center field. Backpedaling. Miles Strauss stops, makes the catch, and that's 2 pitches, 2 outs for Green to keep the game tied at 3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. The leadoff double by Schneemann, though, comes in to score against Chris Bassitt. So it is 3-3 middle 6. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, I'm Megan Kelly from The Megan Kelly Show. Every weekday, we bring you open, honest, and provocative conversations from all sides with some of the biggest names in politics, culture, and beyond. Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks, J.D. Vance, Elsie Gabbard, Bill Maher, Tucker Carlson.
Grateful to be here.
You are not going to want to miss my one-on-one full show sit-down with Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy. And you made news.
I'm pretty good at making news one way or the other.
The Megan Kelly Show from the SiriusXM headquarters in New York. Available now on the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The football talk doesn't stop on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
They're mentally tough, they're physically tough, and they're talented.
From OTAs to mini camps and leading up to training camps, stay updated on the latest news around the National Football League.
Got to practice a certain way if you want to be winners.
Our experts are getting you ready for the 2025 season.
For the veteran players, they want to see the guy earn the job.
There's a story for every team on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
A Sportsnet Radio Network.
Addison Barger leading off the inning. Logan Allen delivers a first pitch strike to start the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Next pitch to Barger is down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Logan Allen above 90 pitches as he started this inning. Left-hander winds and offers. Big swing and a miss by Barger on a hanging sweeper. 1-2. This very well could be Allen's last batter. You give him a left-on-left matchup as Barger asks for time. They do have Matt Festa, the right-hander, warming up in the pen. Cleveland starter delivers a 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Festa's been warming for a while, too, so you'd figure he's got to come in sooner, sit down. He's been warming for an inning, maybe more. 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Strike 3 on the sinker.
And that was just a sinker right down the middle. Obviously, Addison Barger was thinking something else. Because if you're expecting that pitch, you hammer it.
Allen is going to remain in to face right-handed hitters like Ernie Clement coming up right now, who's 0 for 2. Allen's pitch. Outside, ball 1. Could be a batter-to-batter situation for Stephen Vogt and Carl Willis, pitching coach, 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Cleveland is in a bit of a sticky situation bullpen-wise. They've used a lot of guys recently. You have Hunter Gaddis the last 2 days, one of their highest leverage guys. Clase went today. It would be the 3rd time in 4 days. Same for Cade Smith. 2-0. Called strike, 2-1.
Emmanuel Clase, don't want to see him tonight.
Although it would be the 3rd time in 4 days. He has struggled, although he is Emmanuel Clase. And you'd probably lose it if you see him. 2-1 pitch fouled off, 2-2. So disregard what I'm saying. What you said is right.
I've also heard that Aroldis Chapman isn't the same guy as he used to be. We saw him a couple of days ago, and he looks very good.
He looked pretty similar to the guy he used to be. 2-2. Clement pokes it away, foul to the right. But needless to say, a lot of guys have thrown a lot for Cleveland recently, so they might be letting Allen go deeper. That last pitch was his 102nd. Because you got the bottom of the order, and if you can buy an extra inning before going to your pen, you might want to do that. 2-2. Clement fouls off one more.
Although I'm sure Matt Festa, who's warming up in that bullpen out there for Cleveland, would disagree with you.
Well, he wants to go, obviously.
He's also been warming up for 2 innings.
Yeah. He's still throwing. Next pitch to Clement is lofted out to right center. Noel on the run, dives, and makes the catch. Big play from Big Christmas, who lay down on the turf for a moment just to bask in that one. 2 down.
Well, he was rumbling towards the gap. I didn't think he would get there. He's laughing, having a good time out there. What a play from Big Christmas. Holy cow.
He was the closest to it because the center fielder Martinez was shaded toward the left center gap. And he lost his hat, did Big Christmas in the process, but he gets the last out that Logan Allen records today. A big pat on the behind from Stephen Vogt as he makes a pitching change. Brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 3-3 game, 2 outs, bases empty, bottom 6. Let's go back to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's continue checking in on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Why don't we go to the NBA? The playoffs in full swing there as well. Lots of teams have actually already moved on. The Thunder and Cavaliers have both been off for a while with sweeps of their first-round opponents. The Pacers, Celtics, Timberwolves, and Knicks last night also moving on. Tonight, much like the NHL, we just have the one game. Rockets at Warriors. Hasn't started yet. Actually, it's supposed to start in about 10 minutes, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Steph Curry and company looking to advance to a second-round matchup with Minnesota, while Fred VanVleet and company looking to force a Game 7. We do already have another Game 7 on the schedule, which is great news for this series because it's been really fun. Clippers at Nuggets will go tomorrow night in Denver at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Winner moves on to play Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder in the second round. And outside of the playoffs, some pretty big news for one of the most famous coaches maybe ever. Spurs head coach Greg Popovich stepping down from his role as head coach, but is in fact stepping up to a new role as team president. ESPN's Shams Charania reporting he has been involved with the team and present at San Antonio's facilities. He will continue to be a member of the team's day-to-day operations, but can no longer move forward with the day-to-day grind of being on the sidelines as a head coach following a stroke suffered in November of 2024, though he has made significant recovery, which is good to hear on that front. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. It's the 2025 Major League season debut for right-hander Matt Festa, 32-year-old from Brooklyn, is pitching for the big leagues overall for the 109th time and doing it for the first time in a Cleveland Guardian uniform. Faces a pinch hitter in Nathan Lucas, and the first pitch is called a strike, 0-1. 2 down, bases empty. 3-3 game, Blue Jays and Guardians, bottom of the 6th. Righty Festa kicks and deals, and it's outside, 1-1.
Matt Festas actually was having a very good season in the PCL for Round Rock, 2-0 with a 0 ERA. Didn't give up a run in 14 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts.
The 1-1. Lined foul, 1-2. If you're a big-time minor league consumer, you might be thinking, hey, Round Rock, that's not Minnesota AAA. Well, it's because until a couple days ago, Festa was in the Rangers organization, acquired on the 30th by the Twins for cash. 1-2. Called, strike 3. In his Guardians debut, Festa freezes Lucas with a fastball, strikes him out looking to end a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 7th. Nothing to separate these teams. 3-3 the score at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Are you ready for some football? On Wednesday, May 21st, gear up for football season with the George Springer replica football jersey giveaway presented by TD. Rush to the ballpark because this giveaway is available to the first 15,000 fans at Rogers Center. It's Wednesday night. Lights up. Let's go. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong Bird Food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
Saturday, May 17th at Rogers Center is Barbie Game Day. Like Barbie, you can be anything. Just be sure to be at Rogers Center on Saturday, May 17th for Barbie Game Day. Be one of the first 15,000 fans to get your Blue Jays Barbie Hawaiian shirt giveaway. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
That ball is gone. Third home run in 4 batters for the Blue Jays.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to downtown Toronto. Top of the 7th inning, and the Blue Jays and Guardians tied at 3. New center fielder for the Blue Jays, Nathan Lucas, stays in for Miles Straub. And Chad Green still in the game. Kicks and offers to John Kenzie Noel. Called strike. 7th inning brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Green's 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Is it just me, or is Noel always having fun out there? He was ready in the batter's box with a huge smile on his face.
Hey, he's in the big leagues. He's loving it. Second year for Noel. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Debuted last year midseason in Baltimore. Of course, he homered in his major league debut. Homered 13 times in a part season in the big leagues last year. 31 homers between AAA and the majors overall. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. His biggest moment, though, by far, the moment that the world met Big Christmas, came in the ALCS against the Yankees. 2-2. Outside, ball 3. 2 outs, 9th inning, game 3 of the ALCS. Pinch hit spot for Noel, and he hits a game-tying home run. Guardians win in extras, their lone win in their 5-game series loss. 3-2 pitch rolled over to third. High hop brought in by Clement. Long throw to first in time. Just beat Noel for the first out.
That was a really tough play for Ernie Clement over there at third base. Backing up and then kind of short hopped him, handcuffed him, made the play cleanly, and then got Noel sprinting down that first base line. He's been really good over there so far this season.
He has a knack for disguising tough plays. He made that play look pretty routine, and it wasn't. 1 out. Here's Brian Rocchio. First pitch popped up, foul out of play. 0-1.
That John Kenzie Noel home run was at Cleveland, right?
In Cleveland.
I'm trying to remember the exact home
First
run.
game in Cleveland. The Yankees were up 2-0.
That's right.
It gave them life in the series, although the Yankees would go on to win that series. 0-1 pitch, fouled back, 0-2.
Big Christmas. Gotta love it.
It's good. It's a good nickname.
It's better than Ben or Chris.
Ouch.
Well,
Until you said Chris, that
myself
was
in
tough. 0-2 pitch down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rocchio was saying that pitch hit him in the foot. CB Buckner's going to give him first. Rocchio was asking his dugout to look at it. Now it's going to be the Blue Jays dugout, rather, that are taking a peek to see if this pitch did, in fact, hit Rocchio.
Pete Walker is actually saying to CB Buckner right now that's not even close.
Although the Blue Jays decided not to challenge.
Although it actually hit him, so it was very close.
Well, I don't know on the replay.
Got him in the toe.
Either way, that's going to prompt John Schneider to come out to the mound. Looks like the Blue Jays are going to make a pitching change with the top of the order about to come up. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Brendan Little about to enter for Toronto. Let's go back to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Let's continue checking the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of 10 scoreboard. For those who did not join us earlier, let's check in on the Stanley Cup playoffs. Only one game on this evening, Game 6 between St. Louis and Winnipeg. If the Jets do pull off the win this evening, they will move on to the second round. If the Blues win tonight, we'll get a Game 7. Right now it is 1-0 St. Louis, courtesy of Philip Broberg in the first period intermission. You can watch that game on Sportsnet and the CBC. There is another game at least already set for this weekend. Saturday evening, tomorrow, will bring us Game 7 between the Avalanche and Stars. That game will be in Dallas at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific tomorrow on Sportsnet and the CBC as well. Other matchups already set in the second round. The Leafs closing out the Ottawa Senators last night in 6 games. Everyone here takes a sigh of relief. They will take on the Panthers in the second round. Some other matchups set earlier. The Capitals will play the Hurricanes, and this one set last night as well. The Oilers will play the Golden Knights, both teams closing out their elimination games. The other Western Conference semifinal will see the winner of Jets Blues and Avs Stars play each other in the second round. And in the minor leagues of baseball, I know many of you are prospect fans, and last night, Trey Savage making another start with single-A Dunedin. He threw 76 pitches, 59 of them were strikes. He went 6 innings, allowing 4 hits, no runs or walks, and notched 8 strikeouts, including 14 whiffs, the deepest start of his very young career so far. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the Rogers Center. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you very much, Joe. New pitcher for the Blue Jays is the southpaw Brendan Little, in a big spot, top of the 7th, 3-3 ball game. Blue Jays and Guardians. Go-ahead run on first in the top of the order up. Stephen Kwan at the plate with Brian Rocchio on first base. Left-on-left matchup. Little kicks and throws over to first, and Rocchio all over that move. Got back into the bag, standing up. Brian Rocchio has swiped a base this season, but he's actually been caught twice and only stolen 1 bag. So 1 for 3 in attempts. The pitch to Kwan. Fastball on the outer third, strike 1.
Brendan Little, a 2.77 ERA this season, 16 games, 13 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts.
0-1. Just inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Brendan Little, one of those rare big leaguers that you say, hey, just throw that ball down the middle and let it work. Let that fastball dip, let it sink.
Here's 1-1. Called strike, top of the zone with the curveball. Good miss, 1-2. Sinker, cutter, curve for Little. Sinker and curve are the bread and butter pitches, but he'll mix the cutter in. Ahead 1-2 on Kwan. The lefty looks at first, twists and deals. Poked away, foul off to the left. That one is going to get into the netting, or actually over it, into the seats.
That was a good curveball from Brendan Little. Stephen Kwan so good at just spoiling good pitches.
Little to the rosin bag, now flips the ball out of his glove into his left hand. Second year with the Blue Jays for the mustachioed lefty who sits at the belt. Another 1-2. Hit on the ground right side and past the dive of Jimenez into right field. Rocchio stops at second. Andres Jimenez picking himself up off the turf. He was inches, maybe an inch total away from that baseball, but it's a base hit for Kwan and 2 aboard for Cleveland.
Well, I'm not sure even if Andres Jimenez gets to that baseball, gloves it up. I'm not sure he gets Stephen Kwan at first base, but what an attempt. If there's anybody that can get that baseball, it's Andres Jimenez.
And for Stephen Kwan, he almost took that ball off the ground as he hit it through the right side for a base hit. So the go-ahead run in scoring position for Cleveland. It's first and second, 1 out, top of the 7th, 3-3 game, and the pitch to Gabriel Arias. Swing and a miss. That curveball has been so effective for Little. You mentioned the strikeouts. He was a low strikeout guy last year, and he's a super high strikeout guy this year. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Another curve. 0-2.
Well, I think he's just making better choices out there. He's throwing the right pitch in the right location, in the right count. Last year, he was kind of getting his feet wet a little bit, was a little bit tentative out there. This year, he's more like himself.
0-2. Foul tip pops out of the glove of Kirk, so that'll be a foul ball. Still no balls, 2 strikes. Arias stays alive. John Schneider had mentioned kind of what you were saying there, that he's landed the curveball for strikes more, so now guys offer more at the curve, and then he can throw it out of the zone more and get more swings. Lefty's 2-strike pitch. Down and in with a curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think it's pretty simple. If you're facing a good big league hitter and they know you can't throw strikes with that curveball, even with the fastball sometimes from Brendan Little, they just lay off of it. It's not that difficult.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Couldn't lay off of that curve in the dirt. It's a strikeout for Little. There are 2 down.
But on the flip side of that coin, if you're throwing strikes with your curveball and you throw one to the bottom of the strike zone and you bounce it, they have to respect it, and they end up offering at it. So obviously that strikeout rate just skyrockets.
Substitution now on the Cleveland side. Daniel Schneemann is out of the ball game after coming in for Jose Ramirez when he was injured. Stephen Vogt's going to make a change to get a platoon advantage here. Right-handed hitting Will Wilson is into the game. And because of that, Pete Walker goes out to the mound to talk to Little.
Yeah, I'm sure Pete Walker is just saying, hey, this is who this guy is. This is what he does. This is what he doesn't do. Let's just throw that fastball at the bottom of the strike zone and get an easy ground ball.
Rookie Wilson playing in his first major league season, although in his third organization. Originally an Angels draft pick, dealt over to San Francisco, then Rule 5 to Cleveland in the minor league phase this past December. Promoted to the big leagues just over a week ago, April 22nd, and now he's hitting in a big spot. 3-3 game, 2 on, 2 out. The pitch, cut on and missed, strike 1.
Or you can throw that knuckle curve right there. He's had a good feel for it tonight. I throw 2 more of those.
Right-handed hitter Wilson drove in 18 runs in 18 AAA games this year before being called up. Went deep 6 times in that stretch as well. The 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Wilson was a first-round pick, 15th overall in 2019 by the Angels out of North Carolina State.
It's an ACC Defensive Player of the Year at shortstop. Also hit 31 homers in 114 games across his last 2 seasons with the Wolfpack. 1-1. Chopped to third base. Clement has it. He can go to the bag, step on it, and end the inning. Job well done for Brendan Little. Strands a pair. No runs for Cleveland on a hit. 2 left. At the 7th inning stretch, 3-3 Blue Jays and Guardians. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and they're only on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus.
The stage is set.
Round 1, new rivalries emerge.
Not going to take long to heat up here.
And old ones intensify.
You got to love playoff hockey, don't you?
16 teams, 1 champion. Will this be the year Stanley comes back to Canada?
Strap yourselves in for the best ride in sports. You can feel the intensity.
Watch every game only on Sportsnet.
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Here for the Cup.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance?
Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money.
Yes, I am.
Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance, here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
Hey, this is Bo Bichette. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Scary, spooky, hilarious, crazy, scary, spooky.
Bottom of the 7th in Toronto. 3-3 game in the series opener. It's been a fun one so far. First pitch called a strike as Andres Jimenez leads off the bottom of the 7th inning. Still Matt Festa, the righty reliever for the Cleveland Guardians, who struck out Lucas to end the 6th. Righty's 0-1. Fouled back. 0-2. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Festa a little funky. He's not a sidearmer, but the arm slot's a little weird for the righty. He kicks and deals and misses down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He really keeps the ball behind him for a while, and then his arm whips quickly in one motion, releasing the ball. His 1-2. Hit hard on the ground through the whole left side. A base hit into left center field. Jimenez around first. He thought about second, but he'll backtrack to the bag. He's aboard to start the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, he made Steven Kwan out there in left center think about him and quickly get to that baseball. He was running hard out of the box, rounded first base hard, and then quickly put on the brakes.
Maybe a visit from his old buddies. Exactly what Jimenez needed. 2 for 3 today, hitting in the 9-hole. 3-3 ball game. Bottom of the 7th. Bo Bichette to hit for the Blue Jays. Festa's pitch. Called strike. Wave going around at Rogers Center from left field to right. Festa, the right-hander, looks at first. One more peek. A third look and the pitch. Big swing and a miss by Bichette, who catches Naylor on the backswing. Make sure he's all right. It's 0-2.
That was a cutter that kind of spun over the inside part of the plate. Like we've seen so many times, those spinning off-speed pitches or those hanging off-speed pitches are tough because you expect it to break a little bit more than it does. And Bo kind of tied himself up there.
4-seamer sweeper cutter for Festa. His 2-strike pitch. Fouled away.
Another cutter there that really didn't do anything. Just a BP fastball. That one 91 miles an hour.
Ain't on the hands enough, though, to jam Bichette, who hit it away to the right. Bo's 0 for 3. First time he's hitting today against not Logan Allen. 0-2 pitch. Jimenez takes off. The pitch is bounced back to the mound. Only play for Festa is to throw over to first, and he tosses over there. So Andres Jimenez avoiding a double play by taking off for second. He's in scoring position. Bichette retired. There's 1 out.
We'll just call that one a sac bunt. Good enough.
Did the job for the Blue Jays at least, because now a runner in scoring position for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's 2 for 3 today. A pair of singles, a run scored, also a lineout. Base hit can give the Blue Jays the lead in this 3-3 game. The pitch. High, ball 1.
Anything to the outfield now. Broken bat, a little blooper. Will definitely score Andres Jimenez from second base. All kinds of speed out there.
Festa digs into the hill. Looks at second. Kicks and offers. Called strike. Cutter on the inner half, kind of bottom inner corner to make it 1-1.
That was a pitch that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. crushes. He was nodding his head after that pitch was caught by Bo Naylor back there. Don't throw that one again.
The 1-1. Swing and a high fly ball, shallow right field. Noel creeping forward, under it, makes the catch. 2 outs. Andres Jimenez remaining on second base. 3-3 ball game, bottom of the 7th. We've mentioned a good handful of guys with Cleveland connections today. Clement, Straw, Jimenez. Nathan Lucas has some as well. Hadn't even got to that yet. But here's Anthony Santander, drafted and then let go by Cleveland in the Rule 5 draft to Baltimore. He's got a chance to sting his former club. He comes up with the go-ahead run on second. The pitch. Bounced over the mound and fielded at shortstop by Rocchio. He has it, throws over to first, and ends the inning. Leadoff single, stranded on second. No runs for the Blue Jays on a hit. One left. We'll go to the 8th with the score tied 3-3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hear every game of the NBA playoffs on SiriusXM.
He's going to fire up a three for the win!
Don't miss a second of the action all the way through the NBA Finals.
Tatum has to force a three at the buzzer, and he got it!
And throughout the playoffs, get closer to the storylines that matter on NBA Radio, Channel 86.
There are certain guys that you need to be a part of your roster to win NBA championships.
Listen to home and away broadcasts of every NBA playoff game on your radio and the SiriusXM app.
VEASAN, the sports betting network, is back on SiriusXM. Go to channel 158 for informed wagering and fantasy advice from familiar voices like Gil Alexander, Paulie Howard, and Mitch Moss. Plus, SiriusXM mainstays Adam Shine, Rich Gannon, and the guru, John Hansen. We're getting you ready for the upcoming games with a finger on the pulse of the latest news and the moving lines and odds. VEASAN, the sports betting network, is now on SiriusXM 158 and on the SiriusXM app.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former Big League GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. 8th inning between the Blue Jays and the Guardians in the series opener, and it's a 3-3 ball game. More Brendan Little for Toronto. He got the final 2 outs at the top of the 7th. Now his pitch to Kyle Manzardo is hooked on the ground to first. Backhanded stop Guerrero. Flips back to Little for the first out. Well played from both Vladdy and Little.
Well, another good curveball from Brendan Little, and a nice play over there from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. A little smirk on his face, shoulder shrug. All day long for him over there.
Had to work quickly off to his right side to get that 2-hopper on the backhand. He's going to walk a little bit towards second base as the infield shifts over to the third base side for the right-handed hitter, now Carlos Santana. Switch hitter has batted left the first 3 times today. Homered and singled already. The pitch. Called low. Ball 1.
That's a strike. That's a big pitch in this ball game, too. Tie ball game. You got a power hitter up, and now you have to come with something in that strike zone because he missed that call right there.
The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Strike to ball knuckle curve broke in on the hands of Santana, who cut over top of it. 3-3 game, bases empty, 1 out top of the 8th. Little rocks back and deals. Outside, ball 2. Quick peek at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Yankees up 3-0 on the Rays. Red Sox up 3-1 on the Twins. And the Orioles won 3-0 over the Royals. So, good day for American League East teams on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 2-1 pitch to Santana. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
He's got such a good feel for that curveball tonight. Starting it down the middle, letting it break below the strike zone, making it look like a hittable pitch. So all those things are so important for that big breaking curveball.
Little offers, and Santana fouls it off of his foot. Curves, curves, and more curves. He just keeps throwing that knuckle curve to these Cleveland hitters.
Which is interesting because he has a plus fastball as well. Hasn't really thrown that at all tonight.
Maybe a little bit of pitching backwards from the left-hander, Brendan.
I like it.
Lefty with another 2-2. And another foul ball on another curve. This one below the zone. Santana just tipped it as he stumbled over the plate.
Yeah, Santana doing a good job staying alive. He was out in front of that pitch, but recognized it was a curveball. Kind of just flicked the bat at it just to try to stay alive.
Over 1,800 hits in the career of Carlos Santana. 2-2 once more. hit off the handle, a pop-up just back of short. Bo Bichette on the left field turf to make the catch, 2 outs.
And that was actually the cutter, his first cutter of the night, but perfect location in on the hands of Carlos Santana, who probably was expecting another curveball. He got jammed, broke his bat, little weak pop-up to Bo Bichette at shortstop.
Chance here for Brendan Little to finish off the top of the 8th. 2 outs and the bases are empty. Left-handed hitting Bo Naylor up. Mississauga native 1 for 3 today with a solo shot. The pitch. High ball 1. Naylor hitting below 200, swings at the 1-0 and hits it on the ground to first. Guerrero picks it up, races Naylor to the bag and gets there first to end the inning. 5 outs recorded today by Brendan Little and only 1 base runner allowed. He's kept this game tied. It's 3-3, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart, locally owned, proudly Canadian. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
CGT this Tuesday.
It's going to be a battle.
The top 14 acts put it all on the line.
It's not about being good. It has got to be great.
With $1 million grand prize from Rogers, the stakes have never been higher. The road to the finale won't be easy.
Go big or go home.
Canada's Got Talent, The Eliminations, Tuesday 8/7 Central on City TV, or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Middle lane fastball, but he puts it by Cruz. 2 down.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 8th inning in Toronto, and the Blue Jays and Guardians tied at 3. New pitcher for Cleveland, Jacob Junis, into the game. And the right-hander winds it offers to George Springer. Fastball outside, ball 1. This pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. The pitch. Called strike. Right-hander Junis has a 3.07 ERA, 14 appearances so far. And he's having some pitch comm issues. Veteran righty now puts the device back into his hat. I think he's doing all right, or they would have went to the dugout. Slips the hat back on over his long dark hair and steps back to the top of the hill.
Almost 800 innings for Jacob Junis, almost a 4.5 career ERA.
Next pitch down and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Righty was a starter in the mid to late 2010s for Kansas City. Started a little for the Giants too. The 2-1. Lifted to shallow right field near foul territory. Carlos Santana, the first baseman, going back, and that one just gets over the netting into club 328. It's 2-2.
Talk about late round picks. Junis was a 29th round pick of the Kansas City Royals in 2011. And he ends up throwing 800 career innings. That's pretty good.
Out of high school, too. So you take a gamble there, signing in the 29th round instead of going to college. Now pitching with Cleveland on a 1-year, $4.5 million deal. His 2-2. Springer hits it away foul over the screen off to the right.
He won't really overpower you. The sinker's 90 to 92 now. Pretty good changeup, but he does have a ton of movement on that fastball. The sinker really has a lot of horizontal movement.
Another pitch, and it's a slider down and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Springer, Kirk, Barger due up this inning for the Blue Jays. Springer with a homer, a walk, and he reached on catcher's interference in the 3rd. Payoff pitch. Low ball 4, just missed, also popped out of the glove of Naylor, which didn't help. It's a walk to Springer to lead off the bottom of the 8th.
Junis wanted that call. It was a really good pitch. Down just below the strike zone. Might have clipped the bottom of that strike zone, but George Springer with a really good take and a big leadoff walk in this inning.
Alejandro Kirk coming up to the plate, 2 for 3 today. 2 singles to left field and a fly out to right field. Junis from the stretch, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Ben, who else would you want up in this situation other than Alejandro Kirk?
He's been absolutely raking recently. Came into this game after a 7 for 21 week, and he's added a couple more hits today. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
That's a good slider from Junis. It started down the middle and then broke to the outside part of the plate. Really tight, really good spin on that thing, too.
Kirk steps back in, adjusts his helmet, bounces his bat off the plate. The 0-2. Springer takes off from first. Pitch outside a ball. Throw down to second. Bounces in, and the tag not in time. Stolen base for George Springer. Maybe didn't get the best jump of his career, but got just enough to get to second.
Well, the Blue Jays got lucky that slider from Junis was way outside. Bo Naylor had to reach for it and kind of threw off balance. One-hopped it into second base, but good thing for the Jays, George Springer slides safely into second base.
Guardians decide not to challenge, so the go-ahead run in scoring position with nobody out, and all of a sudden the job for Kirk gets Springer to third base. 1-2. Down and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. In a second, we'll take a look at the Bet365 standings. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. 2-2 count. Springer on second, no outs, 3-3 game, bottom 8. The pitch. Loop to right field. This is trouble, and down for a base hit in front of Noel. Springer had to wait. He'll sprint up to third. Third hit today for Alejandro Kirk, and the Blue Jays have runners on the corners with nobody out.
Well, Alejandro Kirk did his job. You could tell he was trying to go the other way, move that guy to third base. It was a pretty good slider from Junis, and I think the Blue Jays got lucky on that one. Just dumps it out in front of Noel in right field. George Springer had to wait at second base to make sure that Noel didn't catch that baseball. He ends up at third.
Pinch runner at first base, Dalton Varsho in those Bet365 standings. The Yankees 18-13, Boston 17-16, Toronto 15-16, Tampa Bay 14-17. The Orioles have won today. They are 13-18. A lot of teams in the AL East looking like they're going to win today, though, which makes this game even more important. Blue Jays and Guardians tied at 3. Runners on the corners. Nobody out, bottom 8. The pitch to Addison Barger. Inside. Ball 1.
Another slider that Bo Naylor had to reach for. That one almost got to the backstop. Good job by him back there.
Infield in for the Guardians. The 1-0. Hit on the ground, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeff Hoffman is loosening up for the Blue Jays. 3-3 game, bottom 8. Righty Junis kicks and deals. And misses down and away. 2 balls, 1 strike.
There's nobody out in this inning in a tie ball game, so I guess Jeff Hoffman is slowly starting to get loose, kind of walking around, maybe going pitch for pitch with Jeff Junis.
2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Sorry, Jacob Junis. I was thinking Jeff Hoffman.
Jacob Junis, who just got away with a slider right down the middle. He's got 2 strikes now on Barger. It's a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Righty's pitch. Hit very high. Foul first base side. Does Santana have room? He's leaning toward the dugout and he makes the catch. while slightly leaning into the Guardians' first base dugout for the out.
That's a big out for the Cleveland Guardians there. Good pitch from Jacob Junis. Now Ernie Clement has one job. Get something through the infield. Get some loft underneath a fly ball. You can't strike out in this situation. That's a big run standing at third base.
Infield remains in. Springer on third. Varsho on first. One out. Tie game, bottom 8. The pitch to Clement. Varsho takes off from first. Clement going to bunt and a fake throw by Naylor, but they'll let Varsho take second. So that's a stolen base for Dalton Varsho, and now the double play chance eliminated. It's second and third for the Blue Jays. Not sure if Clement was truly trying to bunt that or not, or maybe just trying to block Naylor.
It didn't look like a safety squeeze. George Springer wasn't really down the line at all.
Next pitch to Ernie is lifted to shallow left, and this does not look nearly deep enough to score him. Quan under it, makes the catch. Springer's going to deke. Quan throws to the cutoff man, Will Wilson. And that's 2 outs now as Clement got under it but didn't hit it far enough.
2 huge outs for Jacob Junis.
Blue Jays had first and third. Nobody out. Looking for 1 run to take the lead, and now they're going to need a base hit here, or at least need Nathan Lucas to reach base safely. Second and third, 2 down. 3-3 game, bottom of the 8th. Veteran righty Junis set the pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Varsho on second, Springer on third. Both would score on a single to the outfield. 1-0. Called to strike, looked inside, 1-1.
Nathan Lucas didn't like that call, kind of tilted his head a little bit, having a quick conversation with C.B. Buckner back there. Pretty good pitch, though.
The 1-1. Swing and a line drive. Right field. Base hit. Springer in to score. Varsho gets the wave. Noel throw is late. And Lucas up to second with a go-ahead 2-run single. 5-3 Blue Jays. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th.
How about that? He got his mistake. It was a sinker right down the middle. And Nathan Lucas absolutely hammered that thing on a line to right center. What a hit. What a big base hit.
Probably the biggest hit of the season for Nathan Lucas as he knocks Jacob Junis out of this game. A reminder that this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 2-run single by Lucas. 5-3 Blue Jays. Lucas on second. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. And with this pitching change, let's go over to today's host, Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's continue checking the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. And let's go back to the NHL. The Stanley Cup playoffs only have 1 game on this evening. It's Game 6 between St. Louis and Winnipeg. And the Jets and Blues now tied at 1. It has been pretty eventful, actually, after Broberg opened the scoring for the Blues in the first period. 30 seconds into the second period, the Jets scored a Morgan Barron goal that was then disallowed for being offside, followed a couple minutes later on a power play by Cole Perfetti. So that's where we stand now for Jeff Blair's Jets. If they pull off the win, they will move on to the second round. If the Blues win tonight, we will get a Game 7, and the Blues literally, as I'm giving you this updated, just scored. So the Blues now up 2-1 with 8.5 minutes to go in the second period. You can watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC. We will have one more Game 7 tomorrow, by the way. Saturday evening, we'll get Game 7 between the Avalanche and the Stars in Dallas. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. And, of course, that will be on Sportsnet as well. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call.
Thank you very much, Joe. A pitching change for the Guardians brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. After the Blue Jays scored 2 on Jacob Junis, the left-hander Joey Cantillo into the game. Converted from starter to reliever, Cantillo's job is to get 1 out here and send this game over to the 9th inning. The Blue Jays have Nathan Lucas on second and Andres Jimenez stepping up to the plate. 5-3 Toronto lead thanks to the 2-run Lucas single. Cantillo kicks and deals. Outside with a fastball. 1-0. Nice day for Andres Jimenez. 2 for 3 at the plate. A pair of singles. The 1-0. Fouled back into the netting behind home plate. 1-1.
He just missed that fastball. 91 from Cantillo right down the middle. He was all over it. Just fouled it back.
Second year in the big leagues for Cantillo. 12 appearances out of the bullpen, a .225 ERA, and a save in 16 innings. Lefty with the inside move back to second, doesn't throw, and Lucas got back in pretty easy.
Cantillo, 25 years old, 6'4", 225 pounds, out of Honolulu, Hawaii.
Born in Honolulu, went to high school in Kailua. Lefty's 1-1. Lined left field. That's going to fade into the seats deep down the line. Foul. 1-2. Cantillo, one of 49 Hawaiian-born Major League players in baseball's history. A look at second, and the 1-2. Poked on the ground up the middle. Long run for Rocchio. Fields it and throws out his former teammate Jimenez to end the inning. The Blue Jays score 2 on 2 hits. Nathan Lucas with 2 outs delivers the go-ahead 2-run single. And the Blue Jays take a 5-3 lead to the 9th. Lights are going off at Rogers Center. Jeff Hoffman's on next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on Sirius XM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on Sirius XM or streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Our bats have been really kind of the way we envisioned them. Jimenez has kind of picked up where he left off in spring, as has Bo Bichette, Alejandro Kirk, and George Springer is making progress and kind of quieting some people down on the outside with the start he got off to.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app. A Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 9th inning in Toronto and a pitching change for the Blue Jays. Closer Jeff Hoffman on the hill. This pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 5-3, Toronto leads Cleveland in the series opener. New catcher Tyler Heineman, new left fielder Alan Roden. Dalton Varsho out of the game after pinch running, and Anthony Santander out of the game as well. The pitch to Angel Martinez, squares to bunt, pulls it back, pitches inside, ball 1. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. This game has gone back and forth, but Nathan Lucas with a 2-run single in the 8th. 1-0. Called strike, 1-1.
Just a dart. Such a good fastball, electric through the strike zone.
Hoffman, one of the best relievers in baseball so far. Kicks and deals and misses up top. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Hoffman's coming off one of his most impressive outings of the season. April 30th against Boston, went 2 innings, struck out 3 and got the win.
Almost seems like he's been better in 2-inning outings this year than 1-inning outings. 2-1. Called strike. Dropped the splitter in top of the zone, 2-2.
Martinez was fooled by that. You could see he was kind of getting out of the way of it, and then it kind of just dropped over into the strike zone. Good pitch.
It's got the splitter going arm side, the slider going glove side, and 2 fastballs. His 2-2. Poked away, foul. Good job covering 98 well outside by Martinez. He hit that over the netting and foul into the seats.
And I think that's all he was trying to do, is just foul it off, stay alive. See one more pitch.
Two. Again, fouled away off to the left. For Jeff Hoffman, a 1.17 ERA in 13 appearances. That's 2 earned runs in 15 1/3 innings. Remarkably, he struck out 22, walked 1, and the 1 walk was intentional. 2-2 pitch. Popped up, middle of the infield. Bo Bichette taking charge just off to the second baseman side of the second base bag, makes the catch, and there's 1 out.
So technically, he's struck out 22 guys and walked 0. Let's call it just no walks, because that 1 walk is intentional.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's insane. One out, top of the 9th inning, and a break for a moment as they announce in a pinch hitter. Jhonkensy Noel has been lifted, and the slugging left-handed hitter, Nolan Jones, is going to step in. Second stint with the Guardians, former Rocky Jones authored a 2020 season in 2023. The pitch. Just inside, ball 1. (5-3) Blue Jays, 1 out, bases empty, top of the 9th. 1-0. Call just outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Jones drafted and debuted with Cleveland. Played a little bit for them in 2022 before being traded over to Colorado. 2 years with the Rockies, then traded back to Cleveland. Takes the 2-0. It's just inside, ball 3.
Jones had a really good year in 2023 for the Rockies. 297, 20 homers, 62 RBIs.
20-odd stolen bases that year as well. 3-0. Called strike, 3-1. This season's been a little bumpy to start for Jones. 169, 5 doubles and a home run in 28 games. 3-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 4, and that's the first unintentional walk for Jeff Hoffman this year.
I think we jinxed him, Ben. Our apologies to Jeff Hoffman.
It's going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
So runner on first base, and that does bring the tying run to the plate for Cleveland. 5-3, the Blue Jays lead. 1 out, top of the 9th, and the 9-hitter Brian Rocchio's up. Hoffman looks over at first. Third baseman Clement playing in. And here's the first pitch to Rocchio. Swing and a fly ball right field. Hooking towards the seats. It's going to go foul out of play. 0-1.
That fastball is kind of leaking arm side high. That tells me that he's dragging that arm just a little bit. He needs to get on top of that thing to throw more strikes with it.
Only 2 days ago, it was 2 innings and 27 pitches for Hoffman. His 0-1. High and outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think you hit the nail on the head. He could be a little bit tired. Maybe hasn't recovered yet from those 2 innings, and you can see that a lot of pitches are arm side high. Comes with fatigue.
1 out, runner on first. Hoffman looks at first, deals home, and hits the top of the zone with a splitter to get ahead 1-2. Jones takes his lead off first base, held on by Guerrero. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rocchio chases the splitter away, 2 down.
Really nice split finger. Started down the middle or outer third, and then kind of glided off the plate. See Tyler Heineman pointing out to Jeff Hoffman after that pitch. He liked it back there.
Big out for Hoffman. Still has to get through one more. And it's the top of the order hitter, Stephen Kwan. The pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Right field. Barger on the run. Towards the line. Dives! And it's down foul. Jones didn't see it. He was racing around third. Barger with max effort on that one to try to end the game. But it's a foul ball, and it is strike one.
I want to see the replay on that one. Oh, boy. That was about 10 inches from being fair down that line. Andres Jimenez actually wasn't sure he was running after it after that ball got by Addison Barger down the line, but that was very clearly foul.
Good effort by Barger. He almost got there. But Stephen Kwan gets another chance. Kwan representing the tying run. 5-3 Blue Jays. Fans on their feet at Rogers Center. 2 outs, top of the ninth. The pitch home. Swing and a miss. 98 on the heater. It's 0-2.
You don't get Stephen Kwan to swing like that very often.
26,000 getting loud in Toronto. Hoffman peeks at first, sets at the belt. And the 2-strike pitch. Just low. Ball 1. 2 strikes and 2 outs in the ninth. That's a gutsy take from Stephen Kwan. Fans will reload, so will Hoffman. Right-hander set at the belt. A look at first. He kicks and deals. And it's line foul into the seats down the left field line.
Such a tough pitch. Up and away with 98. Stephen Kwan just kind of flicking the bat at it, fouling it off. Such a good hitter up there.
2 hits today for Kwan. He's hitting .317 on the year. Runner on first, 2 outs, 5-3 Blue Jays. Another 1-2 from Jeff Hoffman. And it's sprayed fair left side, a base hit rolling into the left field corner. Jones headed up to third. Stop sign put up there. Up to second base goes Stephen Kwan, and he's made this real dangerous now. The Guardians have 2 in scoring position with 2 outs after the Kwan double.
Again, Stephen Kwan is not trying to do too much up there. He's kind of just trying to get the barrel to the baseball with 2 strikes against a good closer. And you could see just finesses that thing down the line. What a good swing.
It's going to prompt Tyler Heineman to go out to the mound and talk to Jeff Hoffman. It hasn't been as sharp as we've seen from other starts. Hoffman is human, of course, and he had been about as sharp as anyone through the first dozen or so outings he had. But he's still got an opportunity here. 2 outs, and all he's got to focus on is the hitter, Gabriel Arias. For Arias, a single could tie the game. Kwan on second, Jones on third, 5-3 Blue Jays, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Hoffman offers, and Arias hits it foul. Jeff Hoffman ahead 0-1.
Really nice pitch. 97 with that fastball right on the black inside, tying up Arias.
Hoffman sets the 0-1. Called strike. Right on the outside corner. And the Guardians down to their final strike again. Second and third, 2 down. 5-3 Blue Jays. And the 0-2 pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Hoffman set at the belt. Looks at second. Kicks. Fires home. And misses low. Run-saving block there by Heineman. It's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 in scoring position for the Guardians, who can tie the game on a single. Hoffman's pitch. Swing and a grounder to third. Clement over to pick it up. Hop step and a throw to first to win the game for the Blue Jays. More late offense for Toronto. They win their third in a row, 5-3, the final score.
Well, how about that? First, it was Vladimir Guerrero Jr., then it was Alejandro Kirk, and why not Nathan Lucas coming through with the big 2-out, 2 RBI, game-winning base hit. It's got to be a good feeling for him. It's got to be a good feeling for the Toronto Blue Jays.
5-3, the Blue Jays win. We will step aside, then wrap it up and get you over to another edition of Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. Don't go anywhere. Blue Jays victorious in the opener. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Barry, do you ever wonder why we fly north every year?
Obviously, it's because of Armstrong Bird Food.
I thought it was because of the weather or migration or something.
Oh, Steve, you need to spread those wings and open your eyes, partner. Truth is, it's the seeds, the nuts, the berries, the good stuff. Armstrong's got it all.
So all this time, you've been chasing snacks?
Bingo! You think I'd flap these wings thousands of miles for anything else?
Armstrong, Canada's premier bird food. The reason birds fly north. Find Armstrong at Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, and other fine retailers. Or learn more at armstrongbirdfood.com.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
Hey, this is Chad Green. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center in downtown Toronto, where the Blue Jays just wrapped up a series opening win over the Cleveland Guardians. I'm Ben Schulman alongside the former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. 5-3 the final score, but let's dive into it a little bit. Chris, the Blue Jays were looking for a little bit earlier offense today. They had scored late, made it real dramatic, and picked up wins against the Red Sox. But they did get it going a little bit early, at least, against Logan Allen, starting with those 2 runs in the third inning.
Yeah, I think that we talked about this before the ball game. I think the Blue Jays are finally feeling free. They've been really good over the last 2.5 ball games. Some power, some slug, all those things are starting to come together, and I think you can see it. They're starting to look a little bit more comfortable in that batter's box, making better swing decisions up there, and I think that's the biggest thing. When you're pressing as a hitter, you make bad decisions up there. You end up swinging at pitches off the plate, pitches that you normally wouldn't be swinging at, and we're seeing better decisions up there from the Blue Jays. And I think it's really translating into more runs, more big hits, and we're seeing it now.
Blue Jays got 2 after falling behind early 1-0 on the single by Alejandro Kirk in the third. Took a 2-1 lead. Bo Naylor, the Canadian, would tie it up with a home run and make it 2-2. George Springer put the Blue Jays back in front. He hit his 3rd home run of the year in the 5th. It was 3-2, but quickly Cleveland would counter. A Daniel Schneemann double was knocked in by Carlos Santana's single, and it was 3-3. Then the bullpen came up big for the Blue Jays, and Chris, specifically Brendan Little with a scoreless inning in 2/3.
Well, I think Brendan Little is starting to figure it out. He's realizing that all he has to do with his stuff, with his plus stuff, is just throw that ball in the strike zone, whether it's a curveball, whether it's that sinker. Even that cutter was good tonight. He threw one good cutter. Once he really realizes that, and I think he is now, maybe not totally, but I think he is a little bit, he'll be an elite lefty out of really any bullpen, and I'm really enjoying watching him and kind of grow as an elite pitcher.
He bought the Blue Jays enough time that when Jacob Junis came in the bottom of the 8th, Toronto started with a walk and a single, got a rally going. They almost spoiled it. From first and third, no outs. It turned to second and third, 2 outs, and they hadn't brought in the go-ahead run yet. That's until Nathan Lucas stepped up. The 1-1. Swinging a line drive. Right field. Base hit. Springer in to score. Marshall gets the wave. Noel's throw is late. And Lucas up to second with a go-ahead 2-run single. 5-3 Blue Jays. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th.
Well, you could see the excitement from the Blue Jays in the dugout, from Nathan Lucas at second base, just how big that hit was. It was a sinker right down the middle. And that's what good hitters do. Nathan Lucas is a good hitter. He's had a lot of minor league success. Good hitters get mistakes, and they don't miss it, and he didn't miss it. What a big hit for him.
Huge hit for Lucas, who didn't even start the game. It comes up with the big moment and helps the Blue Jays win 5-3. For Cleveland, 3 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors, 8 left. For the Blue Jays, 5 runs on 9 hits, 1 error, 7 left. Brendan Little with the win in relief is 1-0 this year. Jacob Junis picks up his first decision. It's a loss. He's 0-1. And for Jeff Hoffman, his 7th save of the year. A 2-hour, 40-minute affair in front of 26,087 in Toronto. And the Blue Jays win 5-3 to get back to 500. 3 wins in a row. They're 16-16 for the Guardians. The loss puts them at 18-14 and snaps their 3-game winning streak. Blue Jays and Guardians face off in Game 2 coming up tomorrow at 3:07 Eastern from Rogers Center. Gavin Williams against Kevin Gosman. For our technical directors, Tom Young and Christian Chinini, our host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Have a great rest of your night, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Stick around because another winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right now.
888-666-0590, star 590. If you want to text us, 590-590 is the text line. Well, Kevin, as I said, Nathan Lucas with the telling blow in this game. Alejandro Kirk, again, very much in the center. A 2-run single to open the scoring for the Jays, and then it was a single by Alejandro Kirk in the 8th inning that put the 5th run on base, at least. Then Nathan Lucas came up and singled after Addison Barger had popped up and Ernie Clement had flied out to left, and we're looking at each other saying, we've seen this before. Turns out we hadn't, though. Big hit by Nathan Lucas.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the theme all night, right? The 2-out magic. You mentioned Kirky with the 2-out, 2 RBI single. George Springer with the 2-out home run. Big part of the field, right? You get in the hitter's count. You don't try and pull it. You stay through it. Think big part of the field. Good things are happening. Nathan Lucas, same thing, 2 outs. Think big part of the field. Getting the hitter's count. Sinker down middle. Think big part of the field. Big part of the field keeps you in the zone longer. With the barrel, gives you a better chance of having success. That's what it's all about. But, again, give the pitching credit. I mean, Bassitt didn't have his good stuff. Battled through it, right? What did he have? He had 64 pitches through 3 innings. We were looking at each other basically saying this is going to be a quick night and you better score a bunch of runs. He battled. He kept him in it. He went 5 1/3. Handed over to a good bullpen. You know, Green had some hiccups. Little came in, did his job, and then, you know, what can we say about Hoffman? Didn't have his best stuff tonight, but he made a pitch when he had to make it. Quan's not the easiest out. I think, you know, look at his stats. Quan's hitting almost 250 with 2 strikes. Like, he does things with the barrel that most humans don't, but didn't seem to bother him. Made a pitch when he had to make it. This is a big win. Both these teams are about the same kind of team. Right, they got good pitching, they got a good bullpen. It's which team can get the big hit at the big time, and Jays did it a little bit better job tonight than the Guardians did. It's a big win. It's something you can build off of. Hopefully they carry this in and start getting some big-time hits, right? We're seeing homers. We're seeing hits from people that I think, quite frankly, we expected them to get a bunch of hits, and, you know, they say hitting's contagious. Sure looks like it.
Well, George Springer had a home run today, drew a couple of bases on balls. Again, George Springer, very much in the middle of things. We already talked about Alejandro Kirk. Just a great game for the 4th and 5th spot in the order. Again, right in the middle of everything.
Absolutely. Jimenez had a couple of hits. I mean, maybe the day off.
Yep.
Helps a little bit. Again, I've said this, and I said it on our show, that every once in a while you just need to walk away, forget about it for one game, come back and, sort of start over. Season starts kind of that next day. It looked to me just like he wasn't overthinking it. Beat the guy to the spot. Do it with a little fluidity. Don't try and overswing. Swing looked a little bit better, so John hit a homer there. Again, sort of a team win, right? You pick up your pitchers. They weren't great. They did enough. Hitting at the right time. They did enough. This is sort of what I think we can expect from the Blue Jays here going forward. They're doing just enough.
Yeah, Andres Jimenez getting credited with an infield hit in the 4th inning, and you were saying the same. We were looking at each other saying, don't score it an error. Don't score it an error. Give it a hit. It was a hit anyhow. And you're right, 2 hits for Andres Jimenez against his former team. Mm-hmm. That's got to feel awfully good. For the Cleveland Guardians, I guess the takeaway or the concern from this game, if you are the Guardians, you're now 18-14, is the status of Jose Ramirez. He left the game very early in the 3rd inning after a play at first base where originally we thought he was hit in the back by a throw from Chris Bassitt, and you're kind of wondering about that. But as it turns out, it's a slightly sprained ankle for Jose Ramirez. And if you see the replays of that play, no surprise, he did land kind of hard on the ankle. He left the game, and anybody who knows about Jose Ramirez knows that's a big gaping hole in the middle of that line.
Yeah, just look at the way his face looked when he's running down the line. I mean, he was giving it like it was the 7th game of the World Series. I mean,
that's him.
You lead by example. You're the best player. He ain't trying to do that. He just does it because who he is, what he does, and we were holding their breath. You don't want to see a guy miss any time, especially a guy that's does the things that he does, not only for his team but for baseball. So, looked to me like walking off the field, he's fine. I mean, there are precautions taken just to make sure of that. Maybe he doesn't play tomorrow, maybe he does, but hopefully it's not long term. He can get back on the field and do the things that he can only do. And again, this is sort of, I think, this is telling about when you face teams like this who can pitch, play defense, and Carlos Santana. I mean, it's father time, right? I mean, he's almost got 1,100 RBIs, got over 320 big ones. It's just amazing sometimes. We see Chapman the other day for the Red Sox throwing a bazillion miles an hour. You see an older guy having the at-bats that Santana's having. It's kind of cool to watch veteran guys work through things in certain situations to be productive. They still got a purpose, which is awesome.
A couple of things I do want to point out because they might get lost in the game. You mentioned very early Chris Bassitt, kind of fighting things a little bit. Miles Straw makes it. Anybody, and I guess Miles Straw and Dalton Varsha were probably the only 2 guys that would make that play look relatively routine, and that fly ball hit into center field, deep center field, and then Anthony Santander making a diving catch on Angel Martinez's fly ball in the 2nd inning after Carlos Santana had homered. Again, the Jays getting some good defense from their outfield.
Yeah, well, give Mark Bigzinski, the outfield coach, a lot of credit, right? Putting all them guys in the right spot to get the best jump, and you make up the ground they're supposed to make up. You mentioned Straw, the lefty hitting the ball in the left center, him running that down, making it look pretty easy. The ball that the lefty hit to right center, I mean, that ball's moving away from him, and for him to sort of run through the ball and catch it the way he does, he makes it look effortless. That's contagious, too. Santander making that nice play in the outfield. They understood that it looked like Bassitt didn't have his best stuff. You pick a guy up, Jimenez making that running infield play to end the 5th inning. That was a big play too, right? It took a team effort. I mean, this is what you have to do against the Guardians, right? They were coming in here feeling a little confident, right? Winning the games they were winning on the road. Everybody did their part.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590, 590 is the text line. Ryan in Innisfil, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Blair and Mr. Barks, how are we doing tonight?
We're doing well. Could get used to this winning stuff.
Exactly. So I have 2 things. My first thing is this. and it's kind of for Barks. So, like, I've been in the same boat as you. This team needs another banger. We need one more bat that kind of goes nuts. But that being said, these last couple games might have proven us otherwise. I'm still very much so in the boat. Make a hard trade. Something that you're going to divide the whole fan base over and get that other bat in. Do you still think we need to make that move? And then my second statement is, Dalton Varsho makes hard plays look easy because he's literally the greatest center field defender I've ever seen with my two eyes in my life. I'm 27 years old. I'm not an old guy. Dalton Varsho is the greatest defender I have ever seen, and it's not even kind of close. Like, Kevin Pillar used to make plays that would blow our mind, but he made those plays because he wasn't exactly the greatest at reading a fly ball. Like, he'd misread a fly ball and then make a great play. Dalton Varsho reads it before it hits the bat, and just he makes hard plays look routine. I've never seen a defender in the outfield like Dalton Varsho in my life, and I'm curious if you guys can talk to that as well. First question, do we need another bat? Second question, tell me one defender better than Dalton Varsho.
Okay, appreciate the call. I mean, let's start with number 2. I'm going to take some... I'm going to disagree with Kevin Pillar. I mean, Kevin Pillar was a very good defensive center fielder. Kevin Pillar will tell you, I mean, he's just not that fast. And a lot of the catches he made were simply the result. I mean, I call them hustle catches more than anything else. I mean, it's as simple as that. I know that Kevin used to get a little upset when, I'm going to say a former analyst in these parts. I used to criticize him a little bit for saying that he was not showboating, but that he had a tendency to make every catch look spectacular. And Pillar's response to that was, that's just because I'm just not that fast. I mean, I've got to do that. Beyond that, with all due respect, Marquise Grissom's the best defensive center fielder I've ever seen in my life. Devon White, who was here,
Andrew Jones,
was
King
pretty
Griffey
good.
Jr. I mean, those two
Andrew Jones. I mean,
there's some really great center fielders. I mean, not saying Dalton's not a really good defender and gets great jumps and catches every ball he's supposed to catch and then some, but there's been some great defenders. I mean, we maybe pumped the brakes on that just a little bit, but to the caller's point, maybe, he hadn't seen the names that we've been saying.
I mean, I can see his point. I can see his point when you compare to recent Blue Jays center fielders. I can kind of, Kevin Kiermaier was here as well for a couple of years. But I mean, I wouldn't argue about it. It's very much in the eye of the beholder. I will say this: I think the metrics pretty much support that Dalton Varsho would be the guy.
And I'll answer the first one real quick. I said at the beginning of the season when we were making picks that because they didn't get another thumper, I was thinking fans would be happy with meaningful games in September. I'm going to stick with that. I said 2 thumpers and a closer. They got 1 thumper and a closer. That's meaningful games. 2 thumpers, playoffs. That's just me. To the caller's point, absolutely. They need one more bat to just sort of spread the lineup out, take pressure off of guys that maybe, quite frankly, on a yearly basis has a tough time doing that. And can they go out and get that big-time bat? Who knows? Do they have enough stuff? Who knows?
It's way too early.
Absolutely.
You're not making. I don't think anyhow you're going to see an impactful trade made for a bat at this point of the year. I just don't. And quite frankly, I think based on what Ross Atkins said today in his media availability, I think right now there's a little more concern about bringing in another starting pitcher here. You heard Ross, if you heard his post-game comments, it's pretty clear they're looking at guys like Spencer Turnbull, guys who are free agents with some starting pedigree, guys preferably who have been in spring training and are a little built up. I mean, there's no point in bringing a guy in here that's going to take 4 weeks or 3 weeks to get ready. And further to that, I just, from what Ross said, it's pretty clear if Jake Bloss has another couple of good outings, he'll be up here. But I think they're looking at, again, if Max Scherzer's elbow keeps him out thumb keeps him out for a while, they're looking at getting somebody else in here to fill that that spot. But let's mention ahead of tomorrow's start by Kevin Gossman, he is starting after that 53 pitch inning in his last start. So I'm sure there will be, even though John Schneider told us today that Gossman seemed fine, did his regular bullpen, there was no concern.
Yeah.
Let's just say that I think the Jays will be paying particular attention to their rotation. And so, long answer, I know, but I think right now I'd rather the Jays focus on getting another starter. You don't have to back up the truck to get another starter.
I don't know if they have a truck.
But, yeah, that's true. They have a truck full of money. I don't know about a truck full of prospects. But, But it's not. You're not bringing in anybody that's going to cost you any great deal. You're basically bringing somebody in that gives you a little more. What would you call it? Surety than Eric Lauer does.
I was talking about the bat. About not having a truck to get the bat.
Yeah, well, the bat. That's something you can probably think about that at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe the Jays move a little earlier, but this gets back to this thing. What do they have to trade? Their most tradable pieces, other than Arjun Namala, are pitchers who were hurt in the minor leagues or are already up here. And again, then you get into the situation about if you're trading somebody off the major league roster, what are you subtracting and what are you adding? But yeah, listen, at some point I think this team does need another bat, and you look at nights like tonight, and how much longer can you go with Addison Barger and Ernie Clement, and we've already seen Will Wagner sent down. We've seen Alan Roden kind of, water's kind of found its level there. It's pretty obvious that they need another bat in here. But again, that may not be the easiest thing to do. 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-866-0590, 590 is the text line. If you're in traffic, give us a call. You ain't going anywhere anyhow. You know that as well as I do. Steve.
Major League Play-by-Play is now on SiriusXM Radio and online with the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game. It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet. Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just walked it off.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my. The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw. The way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
That's it! It's a World Series win for LA!
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise. Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up! Get up!
3.
Can you believe it? Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and online with the SiriusXM app.
5 and Internet 867, Mariners on Internet 864, Spanish feed on Sirius 162, XM 186, and Internet 871. 8:10 p.m., Milwaukee Brewers take on the Chicago Cubs. Brewers on Sirius 121, XM 187, and Internet 856, Cubs on Internet 845. 8:15 p.m., St. Louis Cardinals take on the New York Mets. Cardinals on Sirius 160, XM 184, and Internet 865, Mets on Internet 858. 9:38 p.m., LA Angels face the Detroit Tigers. Angels on Sirius 132X, 188 and Internet 853. Tigers on Internet 850. 10:15 p.m., San Francisco Giants take on the Colorado Rockies. Giants on Sirius XM channels 89, Internet 863. Rockies on Internet 849. For 24/7 coverage of Major League Baseball, from day one of the regular season to the final pitch of the World Series, keep it locked on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio, Channel 89. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Friday, May the 2nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Washington Nationals. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 847. Nationals on Internet 869. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the San Diego Padres. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Padres on Internet 862. 6:45 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Phillies on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 860. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:05 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Kansas City Royals. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 843. Royals on Internet 852. 7:05 p.m., New York Yankees face the Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 859. Rays on Internet 866. 7:07 p.m., Toronto Blue Jays face the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 866. Guardians on Internet 848. 7:10 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on the Minnesota Twins. Red Sox on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 844. Twins on Internet 857. 7:10 p.m., Miami Marlins face the A's. The Marlins on Sirius 138, XM 182, and Internet 855. A's on Internet 841. 7:15 p.m., Atlanta Braves face the LA Dodgers. Braves on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 842. Dodgers on Internet 854. Spanish feed on Internet 870.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
Should the Toronto Blue Jays move George Springer back to the top of the lineup? Well, on the leadoff spot on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89, Eduardo Perez thinks so.
You sort of have to think about it. Yes, I understand Toronto Blue Jay fans are saying, look, it didn't work last year, probably didn't work the year before. But George Springer's in a better place. He looks healthy. He looks really good with his feet. I would love to see that on base and the power from George Springer in the one spot, and then just trickle everybody down. Go Bichette 2. Then you go Vladdy 3. Then you can then put Santander in the 4th spot with Jimenez in the 5. If you do that, I think now it creates an opportunity, and this comes from me having been in Boston this past weekend. We saw Alex Cora, who is one of the few managers that implements and uses the hit and run. I know, I get it. In today's game, we don't see a lot of that. But what we do see is projected defensive placement. And if you put Bichette in 2 spot with George in the 1, now you could start making guys move a little bit because Bichette handles the bat well. He uses line to line well. Force him then to move the defense around a little bit, and now you start playing with the arrangement and you keep guys off balance. So I'm interested to see what happens moving forward with the Blue Jays if they do decide to go that route.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, May the 2nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Washington Nationals. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 847. Nationals on Internet 869. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the San Diego Padres. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Padres on Internet 862. 6:45 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Phillies on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 860. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:05 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Kansas City Royals. Orioles on Sirius 211 XM 178 and Internet 843. Royals on Internet 852. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees face the Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees on Sirius 106 XM 179 and Internet 859. Rays on Internet 866. 7:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays face the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays on Sirius 119 XM 180 and Internet 866. Guardians on Internet 848. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox taking the Minnesota Twins. Red Sox on Sirius 137 XM 181 and Internet 844. Twins on Internet 857. 7:10 p.m. Miami Marlins face the A's. The Marlins on Sirius 138 XM 182 and Internet 855. A's on Internet 841. 7:15 p.m. Atlanta Braves face the LA Dodgers. Braves on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 842. Dodgers on Internet 854. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 7:40 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Houston Astros. White Sox on Sirius 139, XM 183 and Internet 846. Astros on Internet 851. 8:05 p.m. Texas Rangers take on the Seattle Mariners. Rangers on Sirius 161, XM 185 and Internet 867. Mariners on Internet 864. Spanish feed on Sirius 162, XM 186 and Internet 871. 8:10 p.m. Milwaukee Brewers take on the Chicago Cubs. Brewers on Sirius 121, XM 187 and Internet 856. Cubs on Internet 845. 8:15 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the New York Mets. Cardinals on Sirius 160, XM 184 and Internet 865. Mets on Internet 858. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels face the Detroit Tigers. Angels on Sirius 132, XM 188 and Internet 853. Tigers on Internet 850. 10:15 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the Colorado Rockies. Giants on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 863. Rockies on Internet 849. For 24/7 coverage of Major League Baseball, from day one of the regular season to the final pitch of the World Series, keep it locked on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio, Channel 89. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Friday, May the 2nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the Washington Nationals. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 847. Nationals on Internet 869. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates take on the San Diego Padres. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 861. Padres on Internet 862. 6:45 p.m. Philadelphia Phillies take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Phillies on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 860. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:05 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Kansas City Royals. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 843. Royals on Internet 852. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees face the Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 859. Rays on Internet 866. 7:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays face the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 866. Guardians on Internet 848. 7:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the Minnesota Twins. Red Sox on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 844. Twins on Internet 857. 7:10 p.m. Miami Marlins face the A's. The Marlins on Sirius 138, XM 182 and Internet 855. A's on Internet 841. 7:15 p.m. Atlanta Braves face the LA Dodgers. Braves on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 842. Dodgers on Internet 854. Spanish feed on Internet 870.
Sirius XM has soccer covered end to end. Sirius XM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's Sirius XM FC on Channel 157.
The Boston Red Sox have reportedly signed their new ace, Garrett Crochet, to a 6-year, $170 million extension, and host Steve Phillips from MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM Channel 89 discussed how this move is beneficial for both sides.
So he's only making $3.8 million this year after what was a great season last year, but because he didn't have any real numbers because he had been a reliever and then hurt and missed the season. And so you think about what the Red Sox did this offseason. They add Bregman for 3 years, $120 million. Obviously, there's deferrals in there. And then Walker Buehler, the 1 year, $21.05 million deal. You know, no pitcher who received a 9-figure contract had done so with fewer than 800 innings pitched. He's throwing 224, but it's a big-time contract, and it can max out at $180 million with some bonuses in there as well, and so the escalators that are in it. So it's a big investment, but I think in some regards, too, with the progression that he has made, he probably, if it's a straight line of health and production and improvement, he probably left some money on the table. But here's a guy that went through Tommy John, and I'm not judging him for taking this deal and knowing that at 31 he can opt out and still get another mega contract. I think it's the right thing for him for security purposes, for the Red Sox to lock him up for the long term, and potentially for him to get that next contract as well. Makes a lot of sense for both sides.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, May the 2nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Washington Nationals. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 847. Nationals on Internet 869. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the San Diego Padres. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Padres on Internet 862. 6:45 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Phillies on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 860. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:05 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Kansas City Royals. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 843. Royals on Internet 852. 7:05 p.m., New York Yankees face the Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 859. Rays on Internet 866. 7:07 p.m., Toronto Blue Jays face the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 866. Guardians on Internet 848. 7:10 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on the Minnesota Twins. Red Sox on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 844. Twins on Internet 857. 7:10 p.m., Miami Marlins face the A's. The Marlins on Sirius 138, XM 182, and Internet 855. A's on Internet 841. 7:15 p.m., Atlanta Braves face the LA Dodgers. Braves on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 842. Dodgers on Internet 854. Spanish Feed on Internet 870. 7:40 p.m., Chicago White Sox take on the Houston Astros. White Sox on Sirius 139, XM 183, and Internet 846. Astros on Internet 851. 8:05 p.m., Texas Rangers take on the Seattle Mariners. Rangers on Sirius 161, XM 185, and Internet 867. Mariners on Internet 864. Spanish Feed on Sirius 162, XM 186, and Internet 871. 8:10 p.m., Milwaukee Brewers take on the Chicago Cubs. Brewers on Sirius 121, XM 187, and Internet 856. Cubs on Internet 845. 8:15 p.m., St. Louis Cardinals take on the New York Mets. Cardinals on Sirius 160, XM 184, and Internet 865. Mets on Internet 858. 9:38 p.m., LA Angels face the Detroit Tigers. Angels on Sirius 132, XM 188, and Internet 853. Tigers on Internet 850. 10:15 p.m., San Francisco Giants take on the Colorado Rockies. Giants on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 863. Rockies on Internet 849. For 24/7 coverage of Major League Baseball, from day one of the regular season to the final pitch of the World Series, keep it locked on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio, Channel 89. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, May the 2nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Washington Nationals. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 847. Nationals on Internet 869. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the San Diego Padres. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Padres on Internet 862. 6:45 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Phillies on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 860. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:05 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Kansas City Royals. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 843. Royals on Internet 852. 7:05 p.m., New York Yankees face the Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 859. Rays on Internet 866. 7:07 p.m., Toronto Blue Jays face the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 866. Guardians on Internet 848. 7:10 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on the Minnesota Twins. Red Sox on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 844. Twins on Internet 857. 7:10 p.m., Miami Marlins face the A's. The Marlins on Sirius 138, XM 182, and Internet 855. A's on Internet 841. 7:15 p.m., Atlanta Braves face the LA Dodgers. Braves on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 842. Dodgers on Internet 854. Spanish Feed on Internet 870.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
Michael Toglia is the everyday first baseman for the Colorado Rockies, and he stopped by MLB Network Radio on Sirius SiriusXM Channel 89 to reflect on what it means to earn a spot.
It was a dream come true for sure. It was something that I've always wanted, since I first started playing baseball. I've been playing first pretty much my whole career, so I had my eyes set on that position. Even though I bounced around in the outfield a little bit in my career, I always know that first base is my true home. As far as knowing I was on the team this year, I had a pretty good inclination after the end of last season. But, Buddy, he told me this year at spring training, he said, I don't think I need to tell you, but you're on the team. It's always good to hear that. Like, it's just something that you want to hear, and you want to, confirm that, like, hey, I'm a starter, I'm on the team, let's go. It's definitely comforting knowing that, you have a long leash and you can just go get your rhythm and timing in the box, and you don't have to necessarily worry about it. But with that being said, I feel like in this game, there's always somebody trying to take your spot. It doesn't matter who you are. So I think you always kind of have to play with a chip and an edge on your shoulder that you're trying to secure that spot every day. Even if you're under contract, you want to prove to yourself and the fans that you're still the guy and you're going to be the guy for the future. And so that's kind of mentality that I want to take into this role and, play like I'm earning the spot every single day and put my hair on fire.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Friday, May the 2nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Washington Nationals. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 847. Nationals on Internet 869. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the San Diego Padres. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Padres on Internet 862. 6:45 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Phillies on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 860. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:05 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Kansas City Royals. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 843.
Hey, sports fans, thank you so much for hanging out with us here on Toronto Sports Insider during the Playoff Pulse. Our mission is simple, bringing sports fans together to hang out, cheer, and change the world one insider at a time, while supporting SickKids Hospital in Toronto every single game.
Cheers, insiders and sports fans from around the world. The Playoff Pulse campaign on Toronto Sports Insider is uniting fans worldwide through the thrill of NHL and NBA playoffs. Every game, every fan, every moment counts. The link is pinned in the chat and in the description. Check out our campaign page. Donate if you can, or share it with friends. Holy Mackinac! Every click helps sick kids heal the future. Just by being here, you have already made an impact. Now, chat it up, keep it classy, and let's keep changing the world one insider at a time.
On Internet 850. 10:15 p.m., San Francisco Giants take on the Colorado Rockies. Giants on Sirius XM channels 89, Internet 863. Rockies on Internet 849. For 24/7 coverage of Major League Baseball, from day one of the regular season to the final pitch of the World Series, keep it locked on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio, channel 89. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Friday, May the 2nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 6:10 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Washington Nationals. Reds on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 847. Nationals on Internet 869. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates take on the San Diego Padres. Pirates on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 861. Padres on Internet 862. 6:45 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Phillies on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 860. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:05 p.m., Baltimore Orioles take on the Kansas City Royals. Orioles on Sirius Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 843. Royals on Internet 852. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees face the Tampa Bay Rays. Yankees on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 859.